recording? It shows no indication.
I haven't done anything yet. I don't know why he's clapping or sitting down while he does it. Why is he sitting and clapping?
The applause starts right away.
Standing, yeah.
We're getting a head start on this podcast right here. Welcome everybody to volume 29 of Beer and Bullshit. We're just already having a good time with these guys.
Yes.
We're hanging out with Jon Cor, Jon Belanger, as always, Jason Boissonneau, and myself, Corey McGee. We are here again to provide you with another entertaining podcast. I don't know. I feel like I have to ask that as a question.
Is that in quotation marks? I hope so. Yeah.
Entertaining. So how you guys doing
I'm full
tonight?
of synonyms.
How you guys doing tonight?
Excellent. A-okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Glad to be back?
Oh, very much so, yeah.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back.
Thank you so much.
This guy less.
Yeah.
He just keeps showing
It
up.
just keeps showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like
A
an
pair of
STI.
dirty underwear trapped behind the bed,
I hear he needs a place to stay.
I guess.
That's a segue. That works for me.
No, I don't. What are you
That's
talking
loosely
about?
related to what I just said.
Right, there.
Good start. It's like 300. It was a good start.
Uh-huh. Anyway.
Anyways, how you been, John?
Oh, I'm fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
There's a cat that just showed up.
Yeah, apparently there's some individuals watching our podcast often enough that have a drinking game going on.
No way.
I found this out. Yeah,
That's great.
They basically have a whole chart, and it's whenever we say something specific or
Probably
whatever.
beer.
Yeah, I guess beer. So they got a drink, and then there's if the cat gets spotted, because apparently the cat
No
makes an
way.
appearance in every episode.
But
I
I've
was not
ne-
aware of this.
I've never seen this cat.
Which cat is it?
I'm singing right now.
Gray puffy.
Could it be the neighbor's cat?
You got a window open?
Long hair, gray?
Yeah, no, that's my cat.
Oh.
You've never seen this
I
cat before?
don't think so.
Man, you don't spend enough time here.
But I've
Would you like
been
that
here.
to change starting tonight?
Oh my god.
I'm
Don't get
offering
mad
my
at me. I
couch.
didn't say
No, I'm
shit.
just kidding.
Whatever.
Anyways,
Whatever.
Turn
no.
me down a bit, please.
Yeah, I can turn you,
You were
down.
super loud.
Sorry, which one?
I don't know. You tell me.
Okay,
Turn him
I'm
off
the audio
instead.
guy.
Jesus Christ.
I'm supposed to be producing this podcast, folks.
I can't reach any of the buttons.
Sorry,
even if
is
I
that better,
wanted to.
Jason?
Speak.
Cheers.
That's all right.
All right, sounds good. Yeah. We really don't even need to wear these.
No, we really
these
don't.
headphones.
Yeah, but how
there's
cool
no-
does it?
It's
Yeah.
true, eh? We kind of look a little
You
bit
look
more
like a
legit.
pilot.
Yeah.
You know, I can
pilot?
I can take you seriously. I'd follow you into battle.
Oh, really?
Oh, I wouldn't.
Jason would.
You're one bomber jacket away from too sexy.
It's just like
Just saying.
I just feel kind of like a Stone Age DJ, Like you've got the thing on, you've got the look, but you don't have anything in front of you except for
With those
Some
headphones,
little tiles.
you actually do look like you got some
kind of.
DJ.
They're
You need,
fuzzy.
You need
They've got
thicker
fuzz.
frames,
look to
though.
you.
thicker frames.
Yeah.
For what?
For your glasses.
Oh, right.
To be
Yeah,
a
right.
DJ.
Still, he's got
Because-
like early rave culture
Yeah.
tones.
Yeah.
Just needs a briefcase full of records.
What, is
For
that what
real
they did?
musicians.
They carried records around?
Well,
By the
I guess maybe
briefcase?
not now.
Yeah, probably
Not
not.
anymore.
Yeah.
They probably just carry around.
This is
like
what
a-
you could sound like, loser. I don't really understand why they would do that, but all right.
Isn't that the idea with electronic music? I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Oh, I
don't-
understand the scratching.
Yeah,
Those-
yeah.
yeah.
That's-
But I think it's actually a different it's a different kind of record. They're like made differently because if you take like a normal vinyl record and do that to it, it just like
I just thought it was,
disintegrates
I
to
thought it was
dust.
just a different needle.
Is it
I
different?
thought it
needles?
was
I
Scratching
honestly
because it's
think
not just
this
a
might be
diamond.
much
Look this up.
deeper than we foreknow due to inexperience and naivety.
Well, I don't know.
Some combination.
Do you
and
guys
I
like
imagine
electronic music? Like, or whatever?
I do, yeah.
Yeah?
Not like the super hard techer stuff. I prefer the more kind
There's
of off
some,
kilter.
yeah.
There are many subgenres, and
trip hop and
electronic
chill
is
hop,
just
chill step.
chill
Yeah, that's a
step,
thing.
step,
hop,
chill,
yeah.
step, trip,
these
trip,
are-
step.
I'll often YouTube those subgenres. Now they know what they are.
I'm making those up.
for certain activities. No, those are all real.
Oh, were they actually?
See,
The difference between step trip and trip step. In 1992, there was a grand divergence in southern Germany.
Well, I've always had a problem with that because I feel like I'm supposed to be like a music guy, and I have zero idea in that kind of genre / subgenre and anything that comes after that.
Yeah.
Micro genre
And-
micro niche.
Micronesia.
That's a real place.
Yes,
isn't it?
is that a real
yeah,
place?
yeah. Micronation.
Oh,
Very
like,
small.
When it comes to
It
that
is.
music, the only thing I hate about that is when you hear people like, "Oh, it sounds awesome." If you just go take a bit of Molly, then and you put that stuff on, it takes you away to like a better place. It's like, yeah, if you need to take anything to enjoy a certain type of music, that type of music isn't that great.
Right.
Yeah. I agree, but I think that they'd probably say the same thing about literally anything.
Exactly.
Because I'm sure any music you listen to while tripping balls on
I would
whatever.
say there's some arguably music that is liked or considered to be good by everyone. Like you can hear like a Beatles song, everyone knows this stuff's decent.
So sick of the fucking.
I was a Doors guy myself, personally.
Yeah.
It was
Fuck
kind of
the
like
Beatles,
picking
Jay.
Ninja Turtles or Ghostbusters, Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. The Beatles, their answer to the wartime social political climate I found was love, 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 and it was wonderful. But I was young and brazen, and I gravitated towards the Doors, which went no, let's not sugarcoat this shit. We're gonna get a bit esoteric at times, but we're this is happening in our backyards, and we're gonna talk about it very clearly.
Yeah, but you're
It was
arguing.
darker, it
I
was
think
punk,
you're
it was
conflating
cool.
saying the Doors. Like you're saying that you enjoyed the Doors more than the Beatles, but
when I was
you're not
younger,
saying the Beatles suck.
No, not at all.
Because you
Not
know
at
the
all.
Beatles are great, and everyone
yeah,
can say
absolutely,
that. And it doesn't matter what type of music or genre you like.
Sure.
You know they are good.
Yeah,
and you can tell they are good. Whereas I think some of the techno stuff, you have to. It's like, well, if you're high enough, it's pretty decent.
Is it possible to
If
say
you
that
can-
something is objectively bad?
Right. No, I exactly. I really think that art is in and of itself artless. And I
Yeah.
think this is a moot point and has been since the dawn of time. It's fun to talk about.
Oh, I love talking about
but like
this stuff.
there's no point in diminishing, you said, I fancy myself a music guy, however, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
That's, a lot like saying, I'm really well versed in French cuisine. I'm a chef, but I don't really do Italian, so I must not know my shit. Yes, you do. You know what I mean?
you know your
your
stuff,
demographic, your
right.
niche.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, okay.
A singer-songwriter with an acoustic guitar and maybe a stomp box is not really probably concerned or hyper well versed in what needles and records and
It's a good point.
beeps and boops are being used
and what needles are required to listen to the
click-hop
music.
is a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it gets diluted today with just the amount of volume of music that's out there. Like
It
the
is
amount
getting louder.
the amount you get exposed to.
Yeah.
Of all genres, it's hard to say that something's objectively good, and it's always been tough to say something is objectively bad.
Oh, totally. But it's also not fair. I mean, remember talking to a guy, white bread, trust fund kid, Oshawa. And he
My type of people.
He's
My type of
talking about
people.
Rihanna. And he goes on and on about how, you can't understand what she's saying, and this song doesn't make sense. It was the work. And he was just really upset about it, singer-songwriter himself. And I was like, with all due respect, understand that this isn't music by you for you. I mean, you could learn to appreciate it a great deal, but you're not exposed to. This isn't your culture. It's not really going to make sense to you. You're also, in your
It's lacking
mid to late
context.
50s. This
Mid to late 50s.
exactly. Or
Yeah.
you're lacking context.
Yeah.
So I mean, at least if it's not for you, that's fine. But don't walk around saying objectively and finitely, this is shit music.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You'd be like
Well,
shit
you know,
to my
I'm gonna-
ears.
I don't know. I'm going to disagree. There is some bad music.
Sure.
There's bad music, and I think might lean more towards one way. But like,
I've made a lot of it.
I've heard a lot of it.
But you
Or every time.
You listen to something
Silence.
like Captain Beefheart, and that's very, very niche. Influenced the
Captain
White Stripes a great deal.
Beefheart?
Yeah. They influenced a lot of the more stripped down, rawer
Correct, look it
sounds
up.
that the
Yeah, figure out what that
early
is.
White Stripes was all about.
Oh yeah.
And very much so. And for a lot of people, it's noise. It just doesn't make sense to them. For me, it makes my heart beat. It's intrinsically interwoven with blues rock.
So this guy is like a 70s dude.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Never heard of him.
I'm only
Let's
aware
not
through
throw it up on
reverse
the screen.
engineering the White
oh,
Stripes
it's supposed to
here.
be. Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, that's cool.
I was originally.
Do we
there
have
we
a
go.
reference?
Whoa!
Yeah.
Look, we're high tech here.
Don Van Vliet, also known as Captain Beefheart.
Van Filet.
Vliet? Is that yeah? Huh? Well,
Anyway, I don't know.
American singer-songwriter, musician, and artist best known by the stage name Captain Beefheart. Musical work was conducted with the rotating ensemble of musicians called the Magic Band. How original. Maybe for the 64 to 82.
Maybe, yeah.
Back then.
13 studio albums. You know who would know this guy or this band?
Nick Cave.
Your old man.
Oh, yeah.
And your dad.
Your
Nick
dad
Cave.
would for sure know it. Your dad, Nick Cave.
He always calls him daddy. I don't understand. The kids are doing that now too. It's bizarre.
Must be an inside joke. Anyways, we are after that lengthy intro.
Yep. So hello.
We're happy to be back. We took a couple weeks off from doing.
You've been
during
taking
bullshit.
like a couple months off.
I know.
It's just-
People have been giving a shit about that. This like.
Well, it's not regular
Less
anymore.
Yeah.
Like my grandfather. It's just, you know.
You with
not
regular?
regular?
That's right. People come to expect it weekly, and it's not happening.
Do you think that's a problem?
For my grandpa?
Your grandfather's
Probably.
bowels move once a week.
Yeah.
That's an
He's in the
issue.
hospital
It's
for it
a
all the
problem.
time.
Is it?
No, I'm making a fucking joke, John. Jeez.
Oh.
Actually, John, he's dead. So thanks for bringing
Oh,
that
well,
up.
that's hilarious.
It's actually,
I mean,
he's actually right.
Yeah.
But
So you'll let
Yeah.
him talk about that. There's certain taboo topics that we are not allowed to approach tonight,
Oh, what?
which
Yeah,
we will not even
grandfathers.
allude to.
My grandfather's.
Somebody is going to come back and listen to this podcast in like 4 years and be like, I know what they were fucking talking about. They're going to piece it together. Anyways, no, I guess I understand that people kind of fall off if we're not providing podcasts every single week
Yeah.
like we
Yeah.
used to. But
yeah.
you know, shit happens. You know, we got lives and
Yeah,
shit
do you
gets in the
though?
way.
You
Really?
don't want those fans anyway.
I
There's
don't
too
know.
much
Yeah.
pressure.
That's true.
Doesn't sound very dedicated. They should be pitching tents outside the house, waiting for the
No,
next.
those people. We don't want those people outside of our
I
house.
do. They're called groupies.
what kind
They're
of-
wonderful.
What
The
kind of
only
tents?
the only people who have said that they were going to stand outside of my house during our while our podcast recorded or whenever were people that were complaining that our podcast was too misogynistic.
Oh, really?
Is
Well,
it?
we proved them wrong.
Is this true?
Look at tonight.
Shit.
Look at tonight.
Four dudes.
How? But how?
I don't know.
I mean, it is 4 white dudes from a more or less white suburb.
Is
in
it not
Northern Ontario.
misogyny if we're
But
black dudes?
how? What aren't we very? I'm concerned about
Yeah,
being
that
affiliated
we're
with this
white.
now. I thought we were quite liberal and open-minded and all-inclusive. I wasn't going to touch this until we got to that segment, but these assholes. Maybe it's the word asshole, and if I've said
might be
asshole
it. That
more
might
than
be it.
twice, I apologize.
Oh, here we go.
And actually, the people who
Can't wait.
complained were
Our wives.
our wives
Our wives.
and
Those are the
John's
4 that were
and
out
John's
front.
girlfriend.
Pick it 4. Why do which one of you has 2 wives?
Jay has 3 actually. It's
Yeah.
very
I
impressive.
I knew it.
Very
With a
progressive
fourth,
man.
with a fourth to come. Huh?
Sister
This is why we're all his best man.
They're filming a TLC show. This
my
house
own.
starting in the fall.
That's right. What would that be called?
I don't know.
3 people in my basement.
3 people in a basement. Oh Christ! Anyways, back to this idea of producing regular podcasts.
Yeah.
I thought when we first started this that was going to be one of like the key pillars to this being successful.
Frequency.
Then I realized that it probably wasn't going to be successul, so we just kind of
What
Are you quoting my mother? I'm kidding. We have a wonderful relationship. She loves and supports me. Back to your granddad.
No, I mean I thought it was going to be a good idea to try to do it every week, but
Yeah.
But we also talked about being periodic. We were thinking about
Yeah.
doing it every 2 weeks just to give ourselves a break, but it seems like the people wanted more.
It's called
Did-
a hiatus,
did they?
ladies and gentlemen. It's common. You know,
Yeah.
you shoot
Yeah.
the series and then you take a bit of time.
I think maybe the right way to do it though is like do like plan 4 in a row and then plan a hiatus of a couple weeks.
But we do, to be fair, we do try to plan often, and shit just goes to hell.
Right.
we love
Right.
to plan podcasts, especially we like to plan for them to start at 8:00. But sometimes some people show up around like 8:30. I'm just
8:27.
fucking with you guys.
Oh God!
I will drop a sad bomb on the reason we were 20 minutes late. One more word out of you.
Thank you, Corey. So this is
you guys are 2 of the only guests that we can complain about being late,
and
it's all in good
Because
fun.
we'll still come back because we love you and feel
wait
appreciated.
is no one else ever late?
Everyone's late.
Okay, so what the hell? At
Yeah,
least we
they're
showed
all
up.
pretty late. Yeah.
I don't know if you
what?
know this, but we've actually been backup this whole time, and the other guests just haven't shown.
Yeah, we're still waiting for them to show up.
Yeah. Like,
Oh, we're going to take a break now since
Yeah.
our guests are here.
Do we really have to default to the Johns, more or less, the podcast flow? All right.
We kind of experimented with that whole thing of starting early and then
we did a
like
couple.
20 minutes
But,
in. I don't know. It works when somebody shows up like 20 minutes
Yeah.
after we've started, but when somebody shows up like 3 minutes after you've started,
Yeah.
it's just like, hey, yeah, beer and bullshit with Jason Bosno and Corey McGee, and our guest is here. Let's stop the camera and restart.
But wouldn't that just be weird anyway? Like, that's not really organic and shit. You have someone walking in, you're like, don't let the cat get out.
you
You're
can-
like, your mid thing.
You can break
we
it.
cut.
Yeah, we cut.
we'll
Yeah.
cut it.
I
It's,
see.
All right, we'll be right back. And we
we've-
cut.
Yeah.
I thought you didn't have the ability to do that.
No, I do
thought-
have the ability to do that.
We just we're too lazy to edit anything after.
Well,
Right.
I think originally the idea was that we don't edit it because there's no point in trying to script it like some kind of interview. It's
Like,
just more of a
It's
conversation.
journalistic
right?
integrity.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
what it is.
Yeah, that's
We allow
the term.
people to hang themselves. Yeah, that's all.
Uh-huh.
Right? No, Jade,
I'm here for a
But
little
they're all
choking,
words.
that's for sure.
we were talking about that earlier. Anyways, so yeah, that's the reason why we have not been as frequent as possible. But we're coming up on 30 podcasts.
Whoa.
Very soon.
Well, not
have
quite.
an anniversary
It's 29
podcast?
tonight.
This is
Yeah,
29?
and they're going to be asking again. Corey, every time so far, has asked, "Do you think we've done this many at this point? Like, do you think we would have quit by now?" Every episode.
And
Yeah,
I thought we would have. I didn't think we were gonna make it to 10,
Oh, that's great.
but it's cool.
I hear it's
Yeah.
growing.
I don't know. I keep getting notifications saying that we're getting views, even though we haven't put one out.
yeah.
Wow, that's good. And here's the thing: even with that slight complaint, which I think it's got to be a misunderstanding of some kind, misinterpretation, but the misogyny complaint.
Oh,
Um,
I think it's not so much that it's misogynist. I think it's just that the representation has been very one-sided.
Yes.
but what I'm trying to right. But what I mean is,
except for
look,
Jason, of course, that's the exception.
Right.
He's 100% on board.
There's no way around it.
Yeah.
my expression's always been love me or hate me, or the work rather, not me, but something or someone. That's just a symptom of relevance. You know what I mean? If there's an indifference,
That's a
you're
problem.
not doing your job. Yeah, you're not indifferent until you're dead, in my mind. And you know, let's say I write a book and I publish it, and people are more or less indifferent. That would be an interesting phenomenon or experience for me. Whereas if it's incendiary in some way, be it deliberate or not, but that's an effect. And then also you have the absolute opposite, people lobbying behind this thing, like it's the Bible. Either way, you know, that whole spectrum is quite healthy. It just means that, you're not being overtly controversial.
people are paying attention to.
Yeah, well, it's worth talking about.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
thought-provoking, that's all.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Well,
So
I
it's
guess-
good. It's good to have a mixed response. If you didn't, you would be indirectly or inadvertently appealing to a single demographic, whether you know it or not.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And I think
it's
one
good to
thing,
have a bit of conversation.
and that probably applies most to the podcast we've done with the mayor. And I'm going to go back and refer to that one.
Is that a nickname for a friend of yours?
The mayor. The
mayor.
Homer Simpson.
He always
is
shows
the
up in
mayor.
wrestling tighties, wrestling tighties. Yes. Wrestling tighties.
With a giant belt for some reason.
No, the
Thought you were
ones
gonna say-
we've done with Mayor Black have been by far our most viewed ones. No,
Oh, yeah.
I guess no offense, but
Oh yeah, no, of course. It's a local podcast. I'm international.
man, he's gotten way more attention than both Charlie Angus and Gilles Bisson
Yeah,
put together. Like the amount of hate that the mayor gets,
Really?
like.
See,
It's insane.
Oh, it's crazy.
That's relevant, and that's views and
Yeah.
conversation and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want me to fuck shit up here,
He starts smashing
Get you
shit
a few more views.
and apparently what's my parents' basement. So
Yeah.
it's okay.
is that what
Your parents
people
said
think?
that?
Yeah.
People thought,
Oh, my
these
God.
two guys, the mayor's down in some guy's parents' basement drinking beer.
It is his own basement. I will have you
It's my
know.
basement. That's very true.
He paid for that basement fair and square.
Well, yeah. Speaking of that, we've got a big event coming next week.
Yes, we do.
Oh.
Yeah, ye old Stars and Thunder. I see that they've turned Brunette Road into a
One way.
one-way.
Yeah.
Okay,
What?
we cannot sound more small time than
Oh, I
talking
know.
about like
A single street being turned one way.
No, I love it.
Turned into
I love
one-way.
it.
Well,
I
they
love it.
shut
That's
off
awesome.
the traffic light there, and since then it's just been wholly backwards.
I
all
had
around
to go
town.
to the grocery store and have to go around the block to get there.
Yeah.
It took so much extra time. Someone has to pay for
And
this.
how are you supposed to do a left around the pylons? I can't turn around the pot. What if you're elderly?
Do you give any like credence to like all these complaints online that people have been saying that now that this big event's coming along, now they're beautifying the city? Like every year they do this
beautifying.
thing.
It's
Are
construction
they?
season.
Yeah.
No, they're
This
just
time
fixing a
of
lot of
season.
roads like they
Yeah.
always
At
do.
this time of the year.
And I
Yeah.
just went to Sudbury and back today. Same situation all the way there.
Oh, yeah.
And in that city, it's just up here.
That
That's the
concert's
climate.
the whole way up?
Now's the time. What?
That concert's going the whole way up.
It's unbelievable, dude.
Jeez.
You
That
don't
highway
drive
is
your
out of
car so
control.
much as walk beer tent to beer tent.
It's a long way to Sudbury.
Yeah, you won't remember it anyway.
So that said, we've got a big 8-day concert and fireworks festival coming up this
A very
this
contentious
upcoming week. Yeah,
8-day
very
fireworks
contentious.
festival. Have you heard about this, John? Are you aware of this?
No.
So there's a big, there's a thing coming up called Stars and Thunder. It starts.
I'm aware of that. There's
Yeah.
a week-long music festival.
Yes, it is that.
We
And
did
it-
just say
and
that
the-
like 4
starring
seconds
such
ago.
stars as.
I am adding context, and the thunder in this case is has nothing to do with Zeus. It's actually fireworks every night. So
What?
a different international team.
Yeah.
I guess that's how they're selling it.
Yeah.
Anyway, is that actually the case?
Yeah.
A different-
Micronesian fireworks.
That's right. And then the Polynesian fireworks right after. Gah.
That might be interesting.
Polynesia's not a country though, right? It's a
No,
territory.
people.
They still
All right.
have fireworks.
Sorry.
I fireworks when I was 4, man.
Anyway, so each night has music acts followed by fireworks, whatever. It's a big thing, and they were trying to make it a big tourist event, and it leads up to Canada Day, which this year is the 150th, right?
This is enormous. There's so much going. Oh, I see what's happening here. They're all trying to take precedent,
who? What? No.
or
no.
they're working together.
Who's working together? No.
The nation's
Wait.
competing.
No.
There can be only
You should not have
The
to be
Chinese
honest-
military
to
has
be honest, though,
occupied South
the
Porcupine.
South Korean and North Korean teams should not be one after the other. We knew there could be issues. That was a problem from the
Unfortunately, the North Korean team did not actually bring any fireworks.
Can I see community in this basement? I don't like the sound of Jason Boston.
Anyway, so the whole thing is with this thing.
Sure.
It's been very contentious because it cost a tremendous amount of money, and there were questions from the start whether it would make its money back.
Oh.
And I think the current indication is that it probably won't.
Well, I think they're
Really?
currently $1 million in the hole.
People are talking about. Wow.
$1 million, yeah.
But it was a lot more than that to put it on, so they made some money.
What
but they
costs so
didn't-
much? Scaffolding and volunteers for $1 million?
No, I think there's a lot of
$4.3
shit.
million, I think it
what?
ended up being.
Costs, yeah.
Wow.
the
From
entire cost.
the city?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's
From
that's
the city, taxpayer money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people are kind of losing their shit on
Well,
that.
taxes are high in this city, yeah.
Well, it's and I mean the thing is what when it comes down to it, even if this like worst case scenario, this thing loses $1 million, right? I thought what was a little bit insightful was the whole $45 a household
Yeah.
thing that's basically what is going to end up covering it. And this is a large event that's going to bring a lot of, I guess, unseen benefit to the community.
In terms of marketing visibility
And spin-off dollars.
Economic
Yeah.
activity.
Shania Twain was at the Stanley Cup. Did y'all see that?
That's true.
I
in
didn't.
Nashville, eh?
What?
Yeah, it was
she?
nice.
Yeah.
Was she just like hanging out?
It became the Country Music Awards. I heard somebody say that.
Did
and
somebody say she was
it cracked
drunk?
me up. She seemed quite composed to the part that I saw. I'm not a big hockey guy, so I sort of walked by the TV and was like, "Oh, cool. What are the basketball boys doing?" And I got filled. I was like, "Oh, Stanley Cup shit."
Wrong sport. Yeah. Anyways. So, I think the way John put it in the email before, I think, did he email you about like topics to talk about tonight?
Oh.
And this Stars and Thunder thing, and you said like,
Wait,
it's
didn't
the
I?
Stars and Thunder and how it's going to wreck the
No,
world.
it was,
It
yeah,
was
he
you
sent me
that
the
said
message.
that?
I spoke
Okay.
it. I said it. Yeah, I read
I
it.
thought that was funny. Yeah, I think a lot of it, like I get if you're against the festival, like that, I think it's just a matter of perspective, and we've talked about this like to no end
Yeah.
on this podcast.
Is it that
anyways.
people feel imposed to? They feel like they're paying for something that they may or may not. Well, in this case, that they don't want to participate in, that they don't believe should be here, et cetera, et cetera.
I
Is that
think
what's
so.
going on?
I think so. And
It's
I
like
think
you
because
can't force
dollars are
my
tight
40 yeah,
here
well,
in general.
Sure, yeah.
They don't think it's a function of the municipal government,
Right, to put on an
to
event.
put on a concert.
concert,
yeah.
And I mean that to me, I'm that's a valid point of view.
Yeah.
It sounds
think-
like it. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking as we go here.
Yeah.
I don't have a solid opinion, but
But it comes down to like it's democracy, right? Like our council
Can't just force people
is
to-
on this page, and this is what they've chosen and want to move forward with doing. Like the thing that's unfair is how a lot of it got attributed just basically to the mayor. Like, oh, this is the mayor's fault. This is like you have a whole council.
Yeah,
that
Are they
debated
elected or
this
appointed?
idea. No,
Elected.
they're elected.
They're elected.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not.
Jason Bosno did it to ourselves.
I wonder if he would have been like the 8th vote. He was council.
He
The
was
deciding
actually
factor.
He was actually celestially chosen, but
The mayor?
Anointed,
but,
the anointed one.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But
So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be cool. I'm actually
Yeah.
excited to see what this city looks like in like a festival environment where there's just people walking all over.
People
the
Oh, bleeding
people
out
from
on the streets.
Kapuskasing, people from New Liskeard, people from Hearst. It's going to be wild.
I think there's people coming
Hi,
from
Josh.
all
the
over the
ruckus
map.
around. There's at least 2.1 languages being spoken here.
2.1. Chargez la taille there.
there.
Franglish.
I think it'll suck if you go out to one of the events and it isn't that.
What do you mean? Like,
I think
yeah,
that-
it's Carl Urban instead of Keith Urban, and he's doing a stand-up set for the first time, and that's part of his thing. And my grandma's there, really upset. She's not getting
With
Keith
her
Urban.
cowboy hat. Yeah.
I wonder how much it costs to bring in Carl Urban.
Oh, he's here somewhere.
The old bait and switch. You thought you were getting Keith. It's Carl in a wig. Anyway, no, like what I was more referring to is that it isn't this large festival environment where it's just packed with people and people are having a good time. It's one of these things where you walk in and the venue's way too large for the crowd.
Yeah, and there's the cluster of people
Do you
all
think-
up at the front, and then there's the field behind them.
Is that
that'll be a
true though? Like,
problem.
do we know? Do we have any sense of what ticket sales have been?
It's been over like 11,000 sold.
Holy,
Yeah,
that's not bad at all.
No,
Yeah.
it's not bad.
I don't
no,
know what
that
else. I mean, the Victory Taverns karaoke doesn't bring in. I don't know if they
very
have.
true.
Max 9,000.
Oh yeah,
that's
most,
their capacity.
about 2/3 of that.
Well,
yeah, I would say
and
good
you know,
2/3.
James goes what 6 times? good friend of mine.
I would just
All my views on YouTube are my own, by the way.
like if you look at the Hollander Park, if you put a few thousand people in there, it fills up pretty fast.
Yeah.
yeah, no, it sounds.
You're having a hard time.
What is going?
My bad.
Is that?
That's
Is
how
it
you-
Right over your equipment.
No,
What
there,
are
you have a
doing?
sink.
There we go.
Mom, McGee's mom.
Yeah, that was a poor.
What? Do you have tile back there?
No, there's no tile.
It's all carpet. Don't
Okay,
worry.
so the
This
carpet will
carpet
absorb
is-
the beer.
Yeah, and it'll be fine, and everything will be good.
Good.
I don't know, man. When my carpet
we
drinks,
haven't been drinking that much.
No,
Anyways,
it's just him.
I was doing it just so it looked like I filled up your glass,
Right.
So I could actually get some more.
You want it to be all exotic? Yeah.
Well, since you are pouring a beer,
Look
I
at
should
the head
describe
on
what
that
beer
pour.
we're having tonight.
hey,
Man, we're doing this relatively early in
Yeah,
the podcast.
well, might as well
Are
get
we?
it
But
done.
I mean, no, hey, why not get it out of the way?
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought
get over.
that's what you did before you had a sit. That's why I was waiting so politely.
No, my goodness, no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
No,
Drink.
Okay.
I need to be able to honestly criticize this beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So today we're having
What are we having?
Beau's Buenos Dias.
Ooh,
It's a
I didn't spill that one.
It's a Gruit Ale, 4.5%,
Is that what you're
in the
still
Gruit
drinking?
series.
Pardon me? Are you drinking the first one still?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, we haven't. Yeah, you haven't switched to the other ones yet. But anyways, it is a Gruit Ale brewed with organic lime juice, organic orange and lime peel, and sea salt.
What's a Groot?
A Gruit.
Other than Guardians of the Galaxy.
right?
What is a Groot?
Well, I would
It's
say
a-
since you got that, it's spelt fruit with a G.
Yeah.
That's dumb. That's not. That's not. I don't go to the grocery store. I go to the grocery store.
I'll look it up.
Drumster shrimp from the Marina.
It's a fruit type beer, and I think it's actually an old style that you can have without hops, I believe.
Oh,
Right?
very cool.
Is an old-fashioned herb mixture used for bittering and flavoring beer. Look at that. Groot.
Yep.
I like Groot.
Hey, we both said that originally.
What?
Is it Groot or is it Grayut or
Groot.
Grayut? Grooty. Groot.
That sounds
Master Samurai
old
beer.
Japanese.
Yeah.
I'm
Starfruit's not real.
I think it's
Speaking of
Gruit.
celestial.
I think it's
Is
two
it Gruit?
syllables. I think so. I don't know.
Pardon me, Gruit?
Oh,
I think
so
so.
you don't know, so you shit on me.
Somebody
to start
Gruit.
off with.
Yeah, I'm. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct because generally speaking, I am. So,
So we typically go around and rate these beers. Maybe we can start with this one. Everybody's tried that one?
Out of
so far?
72 stars, quarters and halves are allowed.
My ratings are a lot like Conan's.
What? I don't remember.
He rates video games sometimes online
On his new
yeah,
show?
and he'll go out of 8 out of 7 Tyrannosaurus Rexes. I'm just coming up with this. I give it a blue 52. You know, it sounds like a football play.
Yeah.
8 out of 7.
or that.
Yeah.
I love horrible math. Like,
Oh, it's so funny. It's like Calvin Ball. Did you ever read Calvin and Hobbes?
no.
Any of you?
No.
No?
Kevin Hobbs awesome.
It is my favorite comic strip
actually
of
is awesome.
all
Yeah.
time. It's absurdly good, and I won't digress too much here. Point being, he and Calvin and Hobbes play this game called Calvin Ball. And in order to keep... the only rule is there are no rules. You make up the rules as you go along. So it's very much like, the floor is lava. No, it isn't. I've got my shield. Oh, yeah? Well, I've got a shield destabilizer. Uh-oh, that's 10 points off. Now you got to sing the I'm So Sorry song before you can, round the house. I'll be over here waiting. What? I didn't. You're like, no, you can't cross that zone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So whenever they tally up the points, when they're forced to come in at the end of a long, beautiful summer day by mom, like it's time for bed, you've already been out there a long time, it's like, what's the score? And it's always something hysterical and nonsensical. Like, obviously, cherry, 32, whatever, Blitzen. Ah! It's wonderful.
I gotta go back in the old Calvin and Hobbes.
You won't
It's
regret it.
awesome.
Timeless,
Archives.
man.
My
Very
old boss had
philosophical,
a
funny.
huge, a hardcover book in the lobby.
Yeah.
Of just Calvin Hobbes. There was,
Collected works?
It's
gorgeous,
Right
yeah.
next to, a couple National Geographics. But essentially, the only one that got opened and read was the Calvin Hobbes.
Really?
Yeah.
Everyone would crack it
I'm
open.
going to comment on this really, really quick. Bill Watterson was approached many, many, many times by big people, Disney included, I believe, to merch this stuff. I mean, Hobbes is or may or may not be a stuffed animal. It's perfect, but Bill, in all of his wisdom and beauty, I just love this man, even though I've never met him, but through his work, he just wasn't willing to. He goes, no. When you read Calvin and Hobbes, you have an idea of his voice, you have an idea of his energy. I'd like to leave it yours for you as much as I can. I think as soon as we cast this character, something is lost. And for me, that's not unlike Brad Pitt is the new Batman. No, he's not. He's Brad Pitt. It's unfortunate, but you need an up and comer or a sort of on the cusp of a major break. Sort of actor to step into shoes like. I mean, now I'm digressing into another topic, but I find it much easier to suspend my disbelief when I'm not like, oh, it's Corey McGee in the bat suit.
That's exactly
I am
Tom
not
Holland
convinced.
for Spider-Man. I'd never heard of him. I'm sure he's done loads of work. I've never IMDb'd him. Whatever. Maybe it's his first gig. I don't know. Either way, killing it as Spider-Man as far as I can tell, and I really enjoy going. I don't know. Like, as far as I know, this is Spider-Man, so it's very easy for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
to enjoy.
I think I know what you're saying, like with regards to animating this particular character, right? It's this idea that once the character's been animated, there's a voice behind it that now suddenly it doesn't have the same effect for the new generation
not
that
as
grew
personal
up
as well.
exactly
Yeah.
as it had before. No, I don't know. It's funny how creative people.
It's just interesting to jam about.
Speaking of-
I was impressed. That spoke to me. Where I just thought because he was offered a lot of money,
I imagine it
and
would
like
be.
if you see a Calvin and Hobbes T-shirt,
Disney
I'm pretty
cash.
sure it's fake. Like I would have made it for myself. I didn't buy it somewhere.
Or
because
like the
that's
Calvin
illegal.
pissing on your
Exactly.
the
Like-
logo you hate the most.
It used
Kind
to
of
be
thing.
a decal that you'd see
Decal.
on trucks all the time.
decal.
I don't know. Some people. I don't know.
Decal?
It's a word I read when I had
Decal.
model cars.
No, it's either decal or it's decal. I've heard
a-
it both ways.
Decal.
Speaking
I don't
of
know.
decals,
back here.
beer and bullshit decals available upon
They
special
have
request.
decals.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
right.
They
What?
have
They're
decals
different?
of this podcast.
Yeah,
Who does?
beer and bullshit
Them.
decals.
No,
These-
you don't.
There's one on the
Yeah.
back of his car outside.
Why don't I have one on my
Back one.
forehead? That's awesome.
Yes. We get,
Or
we can
in-
use one as a stencil for a tattoo.
Yeah, I was just gonna say in that sort of forgive me, audience, but that gangster font, across my back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bureau and bullshit. Can't even finish.
That's the gangster voice you're going with?
I don't know.
That's what
Mr.
it is.
Miyagi was pretty
Yakuza
gangster,
shit.
man, and that's not how he sounded either. I'm kind of doing who am I thinking? Very iconic samurai Japanese movie actor. He was in Ninja Assassin as the villain. He's excellent and seminal. Yeah, good.
No,
good.
I don't know.
G.I. Joe reference. I love it.
Was it?
It was.
Yeah, no, the Fensler. Yeah. Anyway, wait. While we're talking about comics, very quickly, I will say one thing.
I'm ruining your show.
We were talking about beer, but yeah.
Never.
We were talking about beer. Forget about that. That means nothing.
It's gone.
Bullshit and
We'll
more
get back to
bullshit.
it. It's all right. No, it's
No.
beer and bullshit.
Yeah,
in that order.
That's right.
Awesome.
That's right. Garfield. Okay, I loved Garfield so much.
Really?
For a long time.
Yeah.
For when I was like 0.
Okay, when you're 2.
Yeah. For a while. Yeah. No. Exactly. Yeah, it's a fat cat. Woo. Right. And whatever's good about that.
The other guy's name is John Arbuckle.
That's,
so that's
true.
perfect.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
I
it
can
there's actually a lot of
identify
analogs with my
superficially.
own upbringing with my
You both have huge foreheads.
cat parent. Yeah. Thanks. Whatever, John. We'll fight later.
Yeah, sure. He means flirt.
Anyway, so Garfield, I thought it was the most hilarious thing I'd ever read at the time when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? I don't know. And
25?
I had 29, 30.
It was really good this morning, but
I'm just so over it now. It's a different world. But I read it more recently. I went back after years and years and years and years and years of never seeing this, and I read some recent ones, and they were like the Comedy Cemetery. They were that to a T. They were just the most unfunny shit, and I was like, wow, they've really gotten bad. So then I went back and I looked at Garfield's from the late 70s, early 80s, and the ones that I had the books of, and holy shit, they were worse.
really,
I
didn't
is
expect
the
that
worst.
twist.
It is the worst.
It's not funny.
I don't understand what was funny about it. It's
No.
just sarcasm and weird.
Weak sarcasm, I find, for the most part. No offense to Arbuckle's creator, who's definitely listening to this.
Jim Davis.
Just didn't really. Thank you.
Yeah,
Just didn't
he's
really
like
speak to me.
190 now.
Have
so.
you seen Garfield Sans Garfield or whatever that is?
Yes, that's actually funny.
Pretty damn funny.
Garfield sans
Sans
Garfield.
Garfield minus Garfield.
That's it.
I don't
That's
get
it.
It's basically someone photoshops the comics, and he just takes Garfield out of all the
That's
frames.
it. So it's John by
So
himself.
it's just John talking to
and with
himself.
the same dialogue. It's so sad.
It's really dark.
And usually somehow makes some kind of sense and is really funny. You forget you prefer Garfield minus Garfield.
So he comes out and he's like, I guess I should feed you now. And he just pours food onto the table. And then the final pane is just him looking down, or the final panel is him just looking down at the table with the food on it.
yeah,
And then that's it. And then it ends. It's like, what the fuck?
Wait a second.
Oh my god,
this is
that's
too
a
much.
good one.
Just like Photoshop Garfield out of it.
He's just a mess. And he is a mess with Garfield in the picture. That's the joke. You,
Quite
you
just
know?
as crazy.
Yeah,
But
he's
now
always
it's like-
struggling to have a decent date with somebody, and he can't tie his own shoes.
But now it's like a voyage into mental illness.
exactly.
You know?
In a way, it's quite poignant, actually.
It's true that there's like so many characters from like cartoons or comics from when we were kids, like the secondary characters, the support characters, I guess.
Yeah.
Like on their own are really like weird people, and and I guess this kind of is a bad example, but maybe a good one. Like I always thought Ned Flanders was along those lines, like
Weird?
just like he already was weird, but like take Ned Flanders on his own, make him like give him his own show.
Like the
And,
Cleveland
like-
show, but with Ned.
Yeah, yeah, and like that's not a good show.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Unless
He's been seminal and instrumental to The Simpsons and their entire canon. People love Flanders, but I don't know if he would work independent of that universe and those characters. And
yeah, like
But
it
isn't
just-
the whole thing with all this is that you always have the straight man, but in the case of The Simpsons, the straight man is, I mean, usually Lisa, but if not, interchangeably someone else.
sometimes the audience, the writing's gotten really
and
clever.
sometimes it
Yeah.
has it actually because
Well,
I've
no,
heard
no.
the
I mean, in
opposite.
general, when
Yeah,
it comes to comedy nowadays,
Right,
they're
right.
you know, it's really storytelling in general. It's really quite advanced. You watch a film now, and in the same scene, you get various timelines and chronologies, and
Yeah.
you know, you're going back, forward. The audience has gotten really keen.
yeah, I think I'm just
like with Shadowhunters.
dumb now.
Sure.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
are we gonna talk about Shadowhunters?
No, Shadowhunters is fine.
Yeah,
Yeah. Shadowhunters is fair game, right?
It's
I was
fair
only
game,
kidding,
right?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talk about anything you
Yeah,
want, man.
okay.
I've been busy, and that's sort of old news
well,
for me.
See, that was kind of another
point.
topic of discussion that I wanted to get into. Is obviously I haven't seen you in a long time, so I wanted to know what's been going on, what's new.
Well, I'm dead on the show.
Well, yes,
early
not
that season, yeah.
not necessarily just in Shadowhunters.
Right.
Overall.
Oh, everything. Oh, man. Well,
Everything.
I'm bad at that. I actually leave these podcasts. I left the last one going, oh, no, this is the answer to the question. I did this thing, and I did this thing, and there was this thing. And I don't know. I just totally forgot about where I'd been.
Which, by the way, everyone, there was a previous episode with John back in January.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
And,
there was.
and some
And
sort
John
of
fucked
technical
it up.
fail. Yeah.
Belanger screwed it up.
That's
Yeah.
right. I did. And by I mean Jason. There was a technical failure. It will never see the light of day because it was
It'll be the lost
destroyed.
tape. That lost tape. That
It-
But it's not even a
Jason's
lost
neurons
tape.
There was-
misfired.
There was a lot of racist stuff that John Cor said.
We just had to get rid of it.
racy.
It'll be lost forever.
Provocative, fantastic, illuminating.
Anyway, so that's the episode that he's talking about. So John's actually been here. This is his fourth time, although it's only the third one that's ever.
That's true. Yeah, you guys did one at the working class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, you were wearing a suit for some reason.
I was wearing a suit.
Yeah.
That one never saw the light of day.
No, that,
that one
did.
did.
It was
Oh,
the one
that
after
did.
that.
Yeah, the one at my parents'.
His parents' basement.
Actually,
His
my
actual
parents'
parents'
basement.
actual
That was actually
parents'
done there.
basement.
Yeah.
So other than being on Beer and Bullshit, what have you been up to?
Oh, dude, man, it's
This is the
I'd
highlight.
have to
though.
rack
This
my
is the
brain a little
pinnacle.
bit to catch up to December-ish, but I went home for about 2 months this year. My dad's very sick, so I spent some time there here for Christmas, which was really, really cool. After that, I thought I'd go to Vancouver and just sort of introduce myself to casting out there. I had some time. I had finished everything I'd lined up. And I booked my first audition out there, which is kind of exciting. It was Lost in Space. They're rebooting it on Netflix. Very cool. And I got my first official stunt contract on that as well, due to a series of fortunate events that are very cool.
So you do the stunts.
I do
and
my own
then
stunts,
in
yeah.
post-production, they swap out your face with your
With
own
Elvis.
face. Well, yeah, right.
With a less bunged up take 3 version. Yeah. You had 2 eyes in that first take. This is going to be bad for continuity. Let's
Well, I get to see some of the Instagram posts that you put out, and yeah, it's pretty impressive. Some of the acrobatics and
Oh, thanks. Yeah, see, I'm
it's-
mired in non-disclosure agreements, NDAs. So most of the time, I can't talk about any of this stuff, and I'm a little bit, I'm very open and happy to talk about a lot of this stuff, but I don't need to sit and talk about me and my job. I mean, I was there, and believe it or not, I don't think I'm that self-indulgent. It doesn't mean that I don't take
People
pride.
wanna
I'm not
hear
interested.
it.
No, that's fine. So I'm losing my point. What was the
I don't
no,
know.
what we were talking about is your stunt contract.
and
Yeah,
that like Lost in Space? Nobody knows about that. I can't post anything about that. So when it comes to the fun, like training for the stunts and stuff, or I can
Wait, but you
tease
can't
some
talk
of
about it now.
I'm not supposed to, I don't believe, but
Oh,
it'll
oh.
be out any minute now. So
Okay.
this is a bit of a tease, and,
Oh.
and I'm not, telling you anything other than the fact that I had a guest spot on it at the end.
Ah.
I really don't think that's a negative thing.
Probably not.
I had a fantastic arc opposite Parker Posey, which was a lot of fun. She was so delightful. I was super intimidated. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. But in a fun way, I went, wow, I got to bring my A game. Not that I try not to.
John normally goes for the
but
D.
Yeah. Well, if you
I'm going to phone this one in tonight.
yeah. What do you mean this one? No.
Skirting by on fumes.
And we just had a blast. So did some acting on that, some stunt work on that. Then for Shadowhunters, of all things, I was off in England doing the Forsaken convention over there, which was very, very cool. It was a mixture of.
What is that? The Forsaken.
Well, it was my
convention.
first sort of. It was a convention. It was autographs and photos.
Just like
and,
Okay,
and,
practicing
it was
witchcraft
an
and that kind of
appearance.
thing,
So
yeah.
we did. Yes, yeah. Did I say seance wrong again? Yeah. So
when we bring in the baby goats.
my goodness, what are those called? Geese?
I think so.
What is the word for?
Yeah, I think so.
Gaffling?
I think so.
So
yeah,
this
so-
Forsaken. Yeah.
Yeah, so
convention,
that was a lot of fun. It was as intimate and philosophical. I got to talk on stage for 45 minutes, but nothing's prepared. So it's just me and an entire room full of people. And you often, as you know from doing this, digress, or rather touch on, things that were largely unexpected.
Unrelated.
Yeah. Or somehow segues, it was as personal and intimate and I guess emotional at times as it was really fun, really funny, really loose. I didn't know what to expect. It was my first time doing anything like that. I left. The irony is, we're being told that we're so down to earth and we're so charming and we're so generous and blah, 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 and we're so inspiring and this and that. I'm leaving feeling so humbled, so inspired. I'm feeling that everyone is so generous and, inversely, I left feeling alive and grateful. And, it was really cool.
Well, that's cool. It's I'm sure it's hard to not leave something like that with an inflated ego.
No, I don't think there's any. No, because that's the thing. I've been very blessed in that I have not had a negative or sort of heavily superficial experience with a fan to date. Not a single one. There were people there there was this one girl that I held for quite a long time, and she was crying, weeping, and shaking. And, people were joking, like, "Hey, John, what'd you do to her? You broke her." And I was like, guys, just, not now. Because the truth is, a week ago, prior to that time, she had been in hospital and was going to die. And so her being there, period, like not only getting to go and meet some of the actors she likes in one of her favorite shows because she loves these books, and I like all kinds of stuff, and I'd love to be in certain environments and meet certain people. She actually, she was alive. There was a larger significance. There was I'm purposely saying this, symbology to it. And so, and she was opening up to me about that, and we were, really having a moment. And this person came from another country even to meet my sorry ass. If anything, it's the opposite of inflating. It is so humbling and earthen. Yeah. It was powerful, and she was not the only one.
So what about
it was really amazing.
The larger 50-year-old men who have the real life-size sticker of you on their wall?
I didn't run into my dad.
Not so many of those.
No,
I had to bring it down. It was too serious.
I think that's kind of worth talking about, because I feel like a lot of people, if you kind of poll the odd person out there about what they think of people who are on television shows or people who are in movies, that kind of stuff, and you ask them, like, what do you think interacting with these people would be like? And it's often as though you're on a different planet, right? Like, that's separate from my world.
It's the cult of celebrity.
Like, the advantage we had doing this is that, which that's the term I use, and I'm wholly averse to it.
Cult of celebrity?
The cult of celebrity worship,
Okay.
I call it. And I'm wholly averse to it. I wrote a book that's very much an attack on Hollywood. Once I've infiltrated it, I can make a difference from the inside out, not trying to stir up a fuss, but there's some things I'd like to talk about. I think you've heard me say before, I think this is, again, an example, and it's a bit dated, but I think it's socially irresponsible and socially telling that, you can tell me what Paris Hilton's clutch was yesterday, but you can't tell me the name of the Canadian who invented penicillin and saved bajillions of lives. Maybe that's trite. Maybe that's quite incisive. I don't know. But it's my go-to.
Just to interject for a second, I'm pretty sure Paris Hilton does not know how to drive a manual.
I don't know. I haven't met her. I hear she's actually pretty
A clutch.
I feel like I've
This
seen
is what
that.
John thinks a clutch is.
The Maserati. That's what it is. I'm pretty sure.
It's a good band called
Maserati.
Clutch, I think. Great. I love them. Brad Pitt. I'm your biggest fan.
Anyway, sorry. That's my job. Carry on.
Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I wrapped up my point. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
It was a beautiful experience. It was really fun. I didn't know what to expect. If anything, I was a bit intimidated. Like, what the hell am I going to talk about? And sometimes it was stand-up. We did panels as well, so that was a lot more bantery and fun. And, the four of us that were there get along so swimmingly, and we just get to take the piss out of one another.
I love that expression.
Well, we were in Britain. It was perfect. But other times, I anyway wasn't afraid to get serious at times and bring it down. If anything, there was just a lot of love was shared, and it wasn't, we weren't, pardon the expression, but jerking off the shadow hunters. It was quite different. We really got to get real.
Unlike everyone in the audience.
No, I'm talking about. See, that's the thing. It didn't feel like there was an actor-audience disparity. The way when you're in your living room watching television, there's no theater of cruelty. There's no risk. There's no, you can pause, you can pee, get popcorn. It's not the same when you're as there might be when you're at a theater play, and anything can happen. And so when anything does or doesn't, there's usually tension, relief, and then catharsis is the word for that, resolution. Whether it's positive or negative in terms of the story or how you interpret it is irrelevant. There's
when you're
build and
talking,
release.
so when you're speaking off the dome, basically, like when you're improvising, like you're saying, right? You're just talking with people. You're there to meet the people who are fans of the show, and I guess make yourselves available for those kinds of discussions and moments and so on, right?
Well,
So
I have a ridiculous, heart on my nose sleeve. At one point, the cast had finished all of their signings and yada yada, and they started making fun, like, "Wow, Jon is really extra popular. Look at that line. What the hell is going on?" And then they went, "Oh, he's writing poems again," because I couldn't simply have a moment and then be like, "Jon Cor, thanks a lot, X." I took the time to really get to know some of these people and talk to them, and I this was my first experience, so I didn't know that in the interest of time, you really can't and shouldn't do what I did. But I was like, no, sorry, whole thing, but I'm talking to Julie right now, and I don't know, it was really sweet.
So
I'm glad in retrospect that I did. But in the future, I'll have to, exercise a bit more brevity.
and as the line got mine
was
the
just,
last people were just super pissed off at me too. Like, this fucking guy.
No, they were lovely. They had gifts and like some of this stuff is like on my fridge or displayed in my home. It's some of the words you receive. Long story short, very important, exciting story short. The prominent gay couple on the show. There was a woman there, young girl rather, who told us that she was inspired as a result of that relationship and the show's vibe and so on and so forth to come out to her parents, and she's never felt happier or more understood and blah. Like this is immense, and I don't feel I had anything personal to do with that, but it makes you you're proud of the project you're a part of for reasons that far exceed what we briefly touched on and referred to as the cult of celebrity worship. Like, wow, this show is making a difference. Okay, it's not just swords and sorcery and so on and so forth. That was really, really cool to hear, and for her to share with me, as a conduit, because again, I don't feel solely responsible for any of that. But I actually really thought she was just a very cool individual, and I was so happy to have met her, and then the rest of them. It was really cool. What I was saying earlier is when we got there, we had the advantage of independently going to these small round tables. They broke everyone up into smaller groups, and so we were able to go just like this. Wow, this is intimate. I'm Jon, and you know what? I do have something in my teeth. How are you? It was a beautiful human experience. It had nothing to do with, I don't know. It wasn't red carpet film promotion. It really wasn't. Like I'm not on the show right now, and I don't know if I will be again or not.
Do you think, because I kind of want to pick your brain a little bit more on this cult of celebrity worship thing. Because
I'm getting myself fired in advance.
No, because I think...
Just like when Richard Gere talked about China. I just read an article about that.
I want to hear more about this because I did not... I didn't... what did Richard Gere say about China?
Apparently, Hollywood is largely run by, and I say this in quotes, and I have no... I have. There's no meaning behind this. No, the Chinese
every time.
And I don't know, but I thought it was the Jews 10 minutes ago. And I don't know. So and I love them both.
This is gonna go
right. But I'm making this very clear. Love them both. But anyway, he is allegedly, from this article I read, an intense practicing Tibetan Buddhist, and given the Chinese occupation, I don't know what the climate is over there. I was actually kind of oblivious to this, and that made me feel ignorant, but I just missed it somehow. And so he's spoken out about some things, and apparently he's had a hard, you're like, where's Richard Gere? Why is he only doing the odd indie here and there? Apparently, given what he'd said, he keeps getting calls from larger productions where, they're about to shoot, and they call him and go, I'm sorry, we can't use you. Not allowed, or shouldn't, or we're afraid to, or whatever. I have no idea. Yeah. And I thought he was quite classy, at least in his response. Again, I don't know what the issue is in the first place altogether. But he was just kind of like, you know what? I've done a lot of work. I don't have to. Like, I'm not doing this for the money anymore. If I was ever, it was a nice bonus. But I can do productions that I really believe in. I can do smaller pictures, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not worried. you don't want to play ball. That's fine. Neither do I. It was interesting.
So he's thinking the Chinese are out to get him.
I have no idea. It's sure
That's the kind of vibe that
But
was.
I
it
don't
does
know.
make sense
I'm
to
not
a degree.
there.
Like now you look at movies that never would make money before, but they now break it in overseas, especially in China and Philippines, whatever else.
The so-called domestic market is not what it
It's
once
nothing,
was.
yeah.
No.
Like there's a reason why there's Expendables 3 and 4. It's because these
It's because
things,
they're such magic pieces of art,
Yeah.
Jason.
They make
in
nothing
China,
here.
they use the word the indispensables. And I remember checking. I went, oh yeah, Jason Bourne, the Bourne Identity. Loved that film, and I saw it in a bargain bin or something. And I went, oh, it's the French version, and the title was something like "A Soul Lost at Sea," but in French, something de mer or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not the Bourne Identity.
Born Identity was just titled differently.
Yeah, entirely.
But that-
so
always- always like that.
say you're watching Star Trek, or this time it was called Celestial Battlefield.
Yeah.
It's just a fun synonym.
But they do that all the time, right?
Yeah,
When
yeah,
something
no, it's
doesn't
common,
quite
but-
translate well. It's
Yeah, which is good. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I grew up reading a lot of writing done in the French writer criminal tradition. Rimbaud, Villon, Balzac. Did I get that right?
Balzac.
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 I normally pronounce it with an S. but-
Gannett. Anyway,
Come on, John. I thought you were cultured.
I'm trying to be. This is a ruse. This is false. Right, and I loved so much of it, but a lot of it it was like playing an early Final Fantasy game. A lot of it was left, thank you, Bill Watterson, kind of up to me.
Nah.
Because I knew that that's kind of loosely translated, but the sentiment's really speaking to me. I would love to read this in its native tongue, but at the time I didn't have
Didn't
the
know it.
faculty, and I wasn't speaking French, so I wasn't reading it either. But I would have loved to.
But isn't that it's translation difficulties that lead to the whole thing with Japanese
I love
films,
subtitles.
right?
Love subtitles.
But I mean, there are accuracy problems there as well. But
True.
but with dubbing specifically, with all these Japanese cartoons that have come over in the last 40 years, whatever. I don't know.
Japanese cartoons?
I have no idea what you're
Name
talking
us.
about.
like the
Single one.
anime. Whatever.
This is going to turn into.
I was kidding. Are you?
What's that?
I was just.
I was absolutely kidding.
Okay, good. Okay. Dragon
Dragon
ball.
what?
Ball with bat. That's a sport.
Never heard of it.
Poking man. Poking man.
Poking man.
I guarantee you there's a poking man.
It's an adult, very misogynistic
Yeah.
parody.
Poking man 13.
They won't hire any women for that.
One Punch Man is one thrust man.
Anyway, no, when
Pow! Pregnant. Bullseye.
when they're dubbing, that's the whole reason why with Japanese stuff, because the language is longer to get sentiment across. So when they're dubbing, often a lot of the voice actors in English will add a lot of like ha and shit like that to the end of a
no way.
sentence to pad it out, right?
Yeah, it's here.
We need to go to the car now.
So are you telling me that all those Dragon Ball Z episodes where they were just powering up?
They're talking.
That was just
They're
badly
speaking.
translated.
What he's really saying is, I need to get over there.
Let's reassess the situation.
That was always the worst part of watching that show.
No, it's the best part.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Move on to the fucking plot. We've already looked it up on the internet. What happens next?
Dude, when the vein in his forehead breaks, all hell will also break loose.
It goes from 2 strands to 3.
Yeah, it changes colors. It's fantastic. His
What
nose bleeds a
great
bit, connoting
show.
negative thoughts, or sorry, not negative, sexual thoughts.
I tried to introduce my kid to it. He didn't take.
Sexual thoughts?
Really?
No, not sexual thoughts.
Oh, boy.
Ew. What are we doing inviting this guy?
I don't know.
Piece
You
of
walked
work.
into it.
No, I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z.
All right.
Not the original Dragon Ball.
He didn't
Not as
respond to
good.
it? Didn't respond to it?
No,
Because it is so universally influential for so many people.
Oh,
You from so many different walks of life and demographics, and like the Wu-Tang is into it as much as I am, and it's that's awesome. Yeah. It's a unifier, and you know what? It was a really good influence. It put a lot of kids in the backyard emulating nonsense stuff. Not unlike not unlike emulating a Jackie Chan film, where he's always the nicest guy and not looking for trouble, but he's got to defend himself, and he does it in clever, entertaining, and
Not looking
often
for trouble here.
badass
Well, you
ways.
found it.
So kids started emulating that stuff, and a lot of these guys, that become athletes of various calibers and various disciplines, they'll be like, I saw Dragon Ball when I was 3, and I just went in the backyard, picked up a stick, and started messing around or something like that, and then here we are.
And I hit my sister
now,
over the
now
head.
I'm the Taekwondo 2017 whatever area champion.
But that's the magic
it's
of
affected their lives in very deep ways. It's super cool. It's a positive influence.
That's the magic of storytelling in general. And
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
Star Trek, obviously. That's the first example that comes to mind, but there are many. But
So real storytelling there is.
that's the only. Truly, that is the only real one. But that it was people watching that shit on their lunch break at Motorola that inspired them to try to rethink their transistor setup for the world's first ever cell phone.
Wow.
All these kinds of things that just came out of
Paddleboard was huge
can't we do
for
that?
instrumentation and robotics, and kids saw
Right.
anime like that and went,
Yeah.
"Wow, I want to."
I want to make that. Yeah.
In a succinct fashion, be Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was there was definitely like some really cool parts to that part of the. I guess it was futuristic, but still
It was optimistic,
Yeah,
not unlike early Star
yeah.
Trek or Star Trek in general. I suppose the message was always fun. It was like watching wrestlers. It was soap opera for not men, not exclusively men by any means. This is
Yeah.
not a misogynistic podcast.
no, of course not.
No, it's not.
However,
of course not.
it's like a bunch of sweaty dudes arguing and then settling their differences with their fists. But for some reason, it taught humility, grace. Strength is in fact gentle. You only fight if you have to, and
Discipline.
How Vince
yeah.
McMahon
There were
Wrestling
it
a
taught
little less
process.
than Dragon Ball Z in these
But
cases.
it taught
but-
process. If you put the time in,
yeah.
theoretically you can do anything.
Okay, wait.
But
I need to
you always
stop
see
you right there
Goku
about
doing
Dragon Ball Z.
for
Because
3
did
weeks.
he not get in the time like the what is it? What
There was
chamber
no
is it?
gravity.
No.
He was able to
There was
adjust
where
the
he would
gravity.
train, and it would a year of training would go by within the chamber.
was dead.
but he would. No.
I think you're mixing.
No. I'm not mixing Dragon
No?
Ball. Because
If I know anything, it's this.
Because I thought, you got to look this up for me right now.
I might
No,
have
you're not
missed
even
it.
gonna look at it. You know what I'm talking about, though? Yes.
Really?
That if you
Hyperbolic
put-
time chamber.
The hyperbolic time
I
chamber.
feel
There
like
you
that's
go.
The room
why
and
you
time and space.
That's not what it's called, is it?
Yes. And
Wow,
he was
because
in
that
there
was the
for, like,
suffix for a bong
day?
a friend of mine had in high school. It was the something hyperbolic time chamber something.
That might have been-
Anyway.
And he would go in there for a day for everybody
It'd be
else
like a year
outside, and it was a
outside.
year inside. So this idea of putting in the time, it was kind of undermining that whole that whole notion.
Well, no, the larger message in there is that being young is way better than being old, so don't do it. And here we are trying to cure disease
You are an
and stop
optimist.
aging.
I always kind of found that those shows were like our generation's like westerns. Like the kids that used to watch, like the bad guy comes to town and good guys gotta defend the homeland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you know what?
So much more. Yeah.
But Kung Fu was better.
What do you mean?
Kung
The
Fu.
legend continues?
Yeah, where he would go town to town
It's
instead
hysterical.
as a
No,
good
now
guy
it's funny.
and beat up the bad guys.
And rather now, but I mean, now it's good. I don't think it was ever supposed to be funny.
But
Now it's really great. I get whenever I'm flipping channels, and I've never had a cable bill in my life, so it's very rare that I'm flipping channels. I'm maybe in a hotel or something, and yeah, I'll see this David Carradine thing, and it's so hokey. It's
Oh,
so
God.
absolutely ridiculous. It's the back of his head when anything even remotely cool happens, et cetera, et cetera. So not him. And the dialogue is like, there's a soap opera. It is
But
so funny.
every time that guy comes into it, like a new
I love
town,
it. I love it.
hey, what you doing here, boys? I don't want any trouble.
Yeah.
Well, you found it, and they all go to one by one, all get their ass kicked, and he walks away.
That's the classic kung fu movie
Oh,
formula.
that's fantastic!
Have you seen that comedic bit about, I forget who does it, but about Jackie Chan where, the nicest guy, one man, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no trouble, no trouble. Like, what are you doing, Jackie? Walking. Get him! And that's Mr. Nice Guy. That's First Strike. That's Rumble in the Bronx. You name it.
Oh God!
Oh, it's so true though.
And I used to love that.
Oh.
Like,
And all of those
the
things,
nicest man.
everyone takes their turn one at a time.
Oh yeah,
in
it's called.
fighting 'em.
It's in the stunt world. It's called having egg on your face if you are clearly waiting your turn, because you need to be timing things and selling things, and creating the idea that this one guy is in fact breaking 50 other black suited people's limbs, Ong Bak.
Oh,
Sorry, The Protector.
Ong Bak.
It's
Ong
in The
Bak.
Protector. Do you remember the end?
No, but I went to Ong Bak
fantastic.
under the influence, and it was amazing.
It is amazing. It was the best thing since Jackie Chan until it wasn't. Because I kept seeing redundant choreography, the tricks were the choreography.
Yeah.
Succinctly put, got redundant very quickly. I'm just watching the same fight in a different setting, but it's not all that different. It's down the block in Thailand, and now we're
They're doing the same thing.
we're
Same
BC
moves.
instead of AD or whatever. But it's the same. I'm watching a martial arts film. I'm really not paying attention to what they're saying in between. Enter the raid. The raid happens. The raid and the raid 2, and all of a sudden, brilliant acting. Brilliantly scripted, shots I've never seen before that were previously inconceivable, and top-notch choreography. Not relying solely on the grit and implied hits that you see in like a Bourne trilogy, or solely acrobatic, flashy stuff that Daredevil had this brilliant fight scene that was lauded and talked about like crazy, and they openly went, no, we lifted this from the raid. We saw this hallway fight scene in the raid.
Fight, yeah.
It's
that
like,
was a great
yeah,
scene.
it's almost like a British farce, but
Yeah.
there's a way to have different actors play the same character. You can do it in one shot, a wide cut. The choreography is crisp. You hire the right people, or you train your actors, properly. It was just so well done. I loved it in Daredevil. I loved it in the Raid, and then they're hired to be in Star Wars, and
I feel jealous
they're
to
a good
have,
troop.
like, I would love to have this level of appreciation for these kinds of things, because honestly,
I was a
like,
martial arts geek
love,
growing up.
I love watching it,
Still
but
am.
to me, it's I feel like I only get the superficial kind of.
See, I didn't even know that scene was
Meniscus.
like thought of being a great scene on Daredevil, but the second you said Daredevil, I'm like, it must be the hallway fight
Oh,
scene.
'cause you knew,
I watched it and I
yeah.
was like, this. It was an amazing.
Oh, it stands
scene.
out. You watch that scene and
He like
then you
jump
watch
kick
it again.
knees somebody. Like he jump kicks but knees them.
Oh, yeah.
into the chest. It's the
Lots of
awesome
that.
scene.
Lots of that in
yeah.
Ong Bak and stuff. There might have been. It depends. They use wires a lot of time to enhance things that you think wires are only for crisp Neo style Matrix acrobatics, Wu Ping stuff. But let's say you're trying to sell a really good trip. They'll do a single pick, it's called, hook to say your ankle with a little thing, and they'll pull the ankle so the guy really looks like he got
Oh, okay, you got flipped.
Yeah, but it's not about necessarily floating somebody in space. Or,
Yeah, because when you see somebody get tripped like Mortal Kombat style in a
Yeah.
movie, like they flip, right? But you watch like judokas, and the way they like flip people over, it doesn't look that.
If somebody, I'm sure somebody's gonna flip out about this in the comments. But the traditional sort of Mortal Kombat sweep, if you will,
Okay.
which is in many, many disciplines and has many different names. For the most part, you do that to me, and what happens is, like,
hurts-
ow,
it hurts your
stop. Yeah, like you hit, now I lift it and put it back down over here, and we're back. We're back.
It's a kick, not a trip.
It's very. However, set up a wire, add some speed to that, some force,
Yeah.
and it does what it's meant to do on screen anyway. It looks really, really crisp. But I'm not saying it's impractical or that you can't do it. But it definitely is not always that sensational. A great example is in Fist of Legend. I'm going to shut up. I promise.
No,
The
I'm
Chinese.
loving this.
It's a remake of the Chinese Connection, a Bruce Lee movie, seminal Bruce Lee movie, where his master is poisoned and murdered, essentially, as a result, by another rival school's master. And the student of that murdered teacher, Jet Li / Bruce Lee, just knows in his heart and soul there's no way that's possible. And he goes, if I can beat your best, your teacher, like if I can beat you, then my teacher would, I know how good he was, and there's no way this is possible without foul play. So I'm going to get to the bottom of this. So he shows up, and it's very much about the Japanese occupation of China, and so there's tenuous race war issues that are addressed, and it's actually really interesting and been based in many ways in real history. But he goes to this school, and he walks in, and there's a brief argument or something. He's of course stoic, and then almost like the man with no name. He's quiet. He doesn't blink. And this little guy walks up to him and goes, "Hey, you're not supposed to be here," or something like that. Of course,
I love your accent for all of these people.
No.
That's
Given
awesome.
the British occupation of China, a lot of these classic movies are dubbed with exactly that kind of dialect.
Yeah.
They are. It's either that sort of heightened American New England thing,
Okay.
or it's genuine British.
Okay.
Like this thing, Jackie would, at least I know him for this from watching these movies growing up, is, hey, you hit me. Well, listen here. I'll fix you. And it's exactly that. He points at his nose, he points at the guy, and then he thumb points at his own nose. And then they fight. I'll fix you. Well, listen here.
It's like straight out of It's a
But
Wonderful
anyway,
Life.
and Jet Li, literally, not blinking, looking forward, bitch slaps the guy, and the guy goes sideways on the ground. And as a viewer, you're like, it's fantastic. Anyway, single pick pull. That's, wires. You can do creative stuff like that with wires as well.
Yeah, no kidding.
So they you can tell they pulled the dude. He didn't sell that well. There was a bit of technical. Wires are rampant in that film, but it works.
I think this kind of wraps into something that I wanted to bring up on the podcast today, but I mean I didn't know if Jay was as much of a fighting fan.
He's just sensitive in general.
He's more of a lover.
Twist his nipple.
Yeah.
He cries.
Yeah,
He cries.
But
I would say a very
there's been
sensual
this
lover.
Thing, this thing I keep seeing pop up on my Facebook is this. I guess this kung fu master in China got his ass handed to him by like an MMA fighter, and this guy's now getting like death threats.
Who, the MMA fighters getting death threats?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
wow.
he like I don't know,
Disgraced.
disgraced this master, and like I've seen the video. It's not pretty. Like this guy was this kung fu master, and this guy just comes in, takes him down, and starts pounding on his face.
You get
and they had to pull him off. Of him.
Yeah.
And he does the whole respect thing before
Sure,
and everything.
sure.
They do the like the whole ritual and bow, but like the guy on like he came at him, and it looks like he has no like technique. Like it doesn't look like he's guarded against any kind of I don't know.
Which one?
Grappling technique
Which
or
one?
anything. The kung fu
Yeah.
master, right?
Well, what happens with I mean, a lot of these styles, the merit is still there. However, the game continues to change. We continue to evolve. We continue to scientifically, emotionally, etc.
Sure.
discover how to apply our bodies. And now we have these hybrid arts. We have accelerated ways of learning things, and our knowledge compounds. It makes sense that something that was, designed in a certain way to be applied in a certain way would have its limitations. As we, you're still fighting barehanded. It's not as if it's a gun versus a laser gun.
Yeah.
But it kind of is. If that makes sense. So now
because you're taking
you've
the best of everything.
Like I've got
right?
a lot of striking experience and acrobatic experience. I can make it look real good. I'm good in a clinch. I love to Thai box. I got my capoeira, a lot of Hungar kung fu, so I can make I can do a hard Southern style, very blocky and sort of Shotokan looking, if you will, or Goju
I
Ryu.
don't
I think a bit.
get gay slang. I don't understand it.
I'll move on.
Thug life.
However, you've got like it just gets dated, and I'm not saying that MMA is the shit. No. It's about the person. I have another saying that genius is not knowledge itself. Genius is the application of knowledge. Right, so you can have a bum and go, look at that idiot, poor bastard. Well, he made all the wrong choices or something.
Was this guy also in this?
Yes, he was in the movie. Point is, this guy might be a genius survivor. You know what I mean? Put you out there for 20 minutes, pussy. This guy's a genius survivor.
Yeah.
Don't you dare look down on him. Who knows?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. It's all about. No, you're right about saying the difference between the knowledge and the application of the knowledge, and being able to kind of apply that either to your own kind of thriving or your own surviving.
Well, the game
right?
just has changed. It's
No.
evolved.
And,
A
but
lot
it's
of
like
these
that
styles,
for every field.
a
Right?
lot of traditional styles, it's sort of you're trained to use a halberd. And to
Halberd.
fight, right? Yeah, and so you go into a boxing match with your halberd training, and I'm being a bit trite here, but I think you understand what I'm saying. And it just doesn't really apply, even though you think it should and would. So what I was saying about my own experience, though, is that I don't have any ground. I don't grapple. So you take me to the ground. You're a BJJ guy. If I can't
What's
keep
a BJJ?
my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, okay.
If I can't,
disappointed.
it's the blowiest.
One of the best. The cat's killing him.
Wow, somebody gets that drinking game that
Yeah, someone's drinking.
Damn.
Why was he so mad? Why was the cat
The
so
cat
mad?
does not enjoy being held by people.
I see that.
I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Sorry, John.
I've monopolized.
Some of BJJ's,
trying to be nice
but-
to the cat.
I've kung fu monopolized this podcast. Right. So you know, you get a if we're going back to early UFC, right, where you had the point was like Pokemon fighting. You had Taekwondo guy versus sumo guy.
Pokemon
Let's see what
fighting.
happens. No, yeah, it was like, let's see this ant and this snake. The snake's gonna ant,
And then twist sumo guy gets kicked in the teeth.
Oh, all kinds of people. Awful things happen. You
It
would say
was
like, the match was
fantastic.
over
Oh,
when somebody
God.
broke an arm. Remember
was-
Marco
Didn't
Ruiz? He used
someone
to
end up-
stomp people's feet. That's all he did. He just stomped people's
Yeah.
feet. He'd let them clinch.
There was
them.
one guy
He
who
was-
literally just grabbed.
Can't
that-
do that anymore.
Who somehow got
against the
full
rules.
range of the guy's crotch and just punch, punch,
Yep, yep.
straight to that's nonstop.
I remember my uncle
Oh.
used to have the tapes,
Yeah.
like the
Oh,
old,
yeah.
the old.
I remember
UFC.
UFC 2 or 3.
yeah.
Like, I would
Yeah,
rent
yeah.
those.
And they were
And-
dark. And did someone end up with their spine shattered, right? And that's what
I
ended
don't know
it.
if I saw that one.
Some dude just died.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
he died in a boxing match in Edmonton, but he was an ex-UFC guy.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, he had a concussion, I guess, a couple months before.
And during the fight, probably should have been
Yeah.
called a little earlier. They didn't.
Yeah,
They kept going.
They knocked him down.
I
like 3
really,
times
really,
in that
really
fight. It's
have to
fucked
bounce
up.
to the loo for a moment.
Yeah, yeah,
But what
have
do
at
you
her.
guys think of the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather? Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm actually very excited about that.
Wait, do we have to wait?
No, we can talk about
Oh,
this.
okay.
Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. I'm gonna have a viewing party here. But what's kind of interesting about that is the fact that if it was an MMA fight, it wouldn't be exciting at all.
Oh, there's no
You know what I'm
question.
saying?
Yeah, if it was MMA fight, it'd be no question.
The shit
But
kicked
if it's
out
gonna be
of him.
boxing, Mayweather's gonna kill him.
See, that's what everybody's saying. But and you know what? I don't know enough about boxing per se, especially technically. That I could actually make an appropriate comment on that. But from what I can see, yeah, he's going to kill him. But wouldn't it be crazy if he didn't? Wouldn't it be crazy if Conor McGregor
it'd be nuts. It'd be crazy.
knocked him out?
And that's the bet you should take. You should put the $100 on that.
Because the odds are going to
Yeah,
be
way against you. So if you get, you
crazy.
get
He'll lose
it.
$100.
Yeah,
What are,
you-
what do they have to fit in the box?
What?
Like what's the competition? I'm not really sure. What are they trying to do?
John's
It's
not
a-
really a sports guy.
It's a cup stacking competition.
Okay. Which is funny because the name would lead you to believe otherwise.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be boxing.
They
I've done a
stack-
lot. I've
they
done a
stack
lot of
boxes.
boxing in my life.
Have you ever played the old Game Boy game Boxel, where you just gotta push boxes into like little...
No.
It's a lot like Dr. Pepper. Or I Dr. Mario. Dr. Pepper. Fuck. Dr. Mario.
Good effort.
Sounds like something you hand to your kid and you go, "It's a puzzle. I'm telling you, it's fun. Any minute now." And he's
Let
like,
mom
"Okay."
and dad go drink now.
Yeah. And this isn't this. Okay, is this fun? It just goes on.
But Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather. I was telling these guys, I think that it's a very interesting thing that's
I'm
happening.
genuinely interested. Yeah,
I am. I'm
It's the
gonna
best
order
thing
it.
since Trump or Hillary.
Oh boy,
It's,
we're gonna have to do
no,
a live
no,
podcast.
just let's just gloss over that one for a moment. But
no, Trump and Hillary. Yeah. Last time you were here,
He's
Barack
got no ground
Obama
fighting
was
experience.
president.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Trump versus Hillary,
some people,
Trump's great on the ground.
Hillary's more of a stand-up fight. Yeah,
It's gonna be a great matchup.
that was the point that I was making earlier. By the way, is that a lot of the traditional styles you can't just adhere to it as a singular style. In like a you can preserve something, and that's wonderful, a tradition. However, there's also a pretense to it. You know, if you go, my kung fu is better than yours, the way we did in these old films. Because now guys are like, well, actually, I'm studying all kinds of different disciplines,
Yeah.
and then they're integrated. And if it's that genius knowledge thing again, if well applied, then I'm sorry, you only judo. I also judo.
And,
Yeah, but the
and,
problem-
and these other things.
The problem
Yeah.
with that in this fight is that he's like, all right, I'm not a boxer. I've trained in all these things. Boxing is 1/10 of the things I do, but I'm going to go into a battle with you and only box against a guy who only boxes.
Right. So can I say this? Do you? Can I give you my opinion on this?
please.
So I don't have a pick for it. However, I find it very interesting. Like you said, I think that's the word.
But you have to have a pick.
Check this out. I can look at it in two ways. One is that relating a little bit more through my own experience to a multidisciplinary guy, he now has so much less to think about. He's busy. Like, he doesn't have to worry about his nuts getting kicked anymore. He doesn't have to worry, blah, 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 blah. He gets to focus on one game. That means, not like, if you're a battery, if you have percentages, he's not managing all of this other stuff.
Yeah.
It's now concentrated. This
And
is
he
really
hits
interesting.
hard.
Oh, he is a really brilliant fighter. And I love what he says about, like, I talk shit while we're doing the thing. So did Muhammad Ali. However, I'm humble in victory and I'm humble in defeat. Bless you. That's beautiful. But the flip side of this is, I said he's only got the one game to focus on. It is Floyd's game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
like
this is
one
really
of the best
interesting,
ever, right?
Yeah. Chances are Floyd hits him, poof, he's dead. Chances are Connor's a scrappy,
No, but Floyd's not gonna
pikey,
beat him.
and pulls this off.
But
I
Floyd's
don't know.
he's not gonna knock him out. Floyd Mayweather's gonna
No idea.
And he's basically just gonna outbox him.
Yeah,
right?
he calculates everything. Like
Yeah.
every fight he's in, like he's been fighting chumps for the longest time, and he'll go the whole way. He'll fight them the entire match, win every round.
But if McGregor nails him, like just cut.
But that's the,
I have no idea what's going to happen.
Mayweather is fast.
because Connor's got spirit.
Mayweather's
man.
fast. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta understand.
McGregor's
Yeah.
got nothing to lose. He's gonna make a shit
He's
ton
making
of money.
money.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he said he's
And
retiring soon.
And that's insane.
But would that kill?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I think about is like it's a gamble
he's
for
going to
boxing.
WWE.
it's a huge gamble for
It's a gamble
boxing.
because if he
Huge
loses,
gamble.
that destroys.
But even if McGregor
Oh,
goes
I didn't even.
if McGregor
yeah.
goes 12 rounds with Mayweather, that's the end of boxing right there. No one's ever going to
well,
watch
to be
it
fair,
again.
boxing's dead.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
even
but-
consider the ramifications here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
John's so
and if he loses,
he's so
and if he
confused.
loses the fight, I guess the only way is if he McGregor got knocked out in the first round, and
Yeah.
which he won't.
I don't
But-
know, man. This is a
I don't
really
know.
anomalous. It's a different.
It's weird.
Aren't they
It's
in different
weird.
weight classes even?
Yeah,
Like
McGregor's.
I mean, as they are now.
McGregor made 145 against Aldo, but he looked-
145.
yeah.
How tall is he?
He's like my height.
Yeah,
Five-
you should say
five
it.
what?
9,
No, that's
5.
tiny, man. Like
Oh, yeah.
you know,
They're not
people
big
think Brad
boys.
Pitt's jacked in Fight Club. He's not.
Yeah.
He's like my height. He's like 6 feet,
Yeah.
and he's I think 150 pounds or something like
That's
that.
crazy.
Was
It's
the
just
truth?
Dehydrated, right?
Well,
Right.
that, but also ripped, lit,
Yeah.
tanned, etc. No, he was like he exercised a lot. His workout program was largely publicized and lauded, and it's awesome. You look great,
Mm-hmm.
but you're tiny, you're tight. You're not. Guys were like bulking and going, I still don't look like Brad in Fight Club. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you're doing it wrong. Yeah,
It's a toning thing. It's
Yeah.
an aesthetic. There's a word for it. A composition, I guess.
Yeah, but that's when they make weight, they show up 2 days later and fight, and they're
They're an extra-
back at
an
like
extra 25 pounds, yeah.
170.
Oh, totally.
You know,
Yeah. I know.
So
They've got 3
especially
days. And
Conor McGregor, like he fought, he weighed in at 145 and then fought at he was probably
155.
No, more than that.
Yeah?
Yeah. He has to cut weight to make 155.
Right.
So,
But I didn't know. I mean, 10 pounds is a lot to just throw on real quick.
No, they
get health
right
problems
away.
doing-
As soon as they get off that scale, they're rehydrating, right? And they're
Right.
because
Oh, that's a big deal too. Is rehydration's a lot of weight
They
for sure.
dehydrate
Yeah.
right up to the point of getting on the scale,
Which
and
is
they-
super healthy, everyone.
Yeah,
Of course,
I
of
saw.
course,
I
yeah.
saw a lot of pro fighters. I was being groomed to fight. My agent and girlfriend at the time dissuaded me, and I'm happy for that. But I was really enjoying it as a Thai boxer. And there were a lot of guys in the gym, in and out of pro fights. And you'd see, you're like, "What's wrong with Terry?" And no,
Wait.
don't, no. He's in his thing. Like he looks like fucking Bruce Wayne. Like he's just Gotham. He's got his little storm cloud. And he's like, he hasn't had a lick of water in 2.5 days, or whatever.
So,
he's losing his mind, but he's got his way in tonight. He's got his
Fighting
way in
weight,
tonight.
fighting weight between McGregor and Mayweather. Mayweather is in at 68 kilograms,
I
think
can't
that's-
do
So
the
100
conversion.
What's that in Fahrenheit?
150 pounds, and
Thank you.
McGregor is at 70 kilograms, 154 pounds.
154.
So only has 4 pounds on Mayweather.
Yeah,
Mayweather's
but that's,
smaller.
that's at the.
I weigh it, both of them. I weigh
What's
it,
their
yes.
reach?
Yeah.
What's their reach? Because Connor feels smaller.
He's
than
bigger.
me.
He's bigger than
Reach?
He's bigger than Mayweather.
74
Really?
inches.
Yes.
74-inch reach. McGregor and Mayweather has a 72-inch reach.
Yeah.
All right.
Really?
All right.
It's
All
gonna
right.
make a difference.
Time to talk about space or some other shit.
Sorry, buddy.
Okay, I thought it was funny that you gave the what's called the metric measurements there, because I noticed in the news story that we were talking about before this that the Canadian sniper
Yeah.
that beat
Oh,
the
yeah.
world record and he
3.5
killed some ISIS
kilometers
dude
or whatever.
at like is that what it was? It was
3.45
3,500 meters, and they keep saying it in meters
Yeah.
because the guy's Canadian, obviously.
Well, it's also anything international. It's in meters. Even the American snipers will know this many meters.
American sniper. They should make a Canadian sniper about this guy now.
Yeah.
Starring Paul Gross. I'm sure our friend Adam McKay will enjoy that. Another goddamn Paul Gross movie. Fuck. Men with guns.
He did Passchendaele.
Yeah, he did do Passionate. You're right. Yeah.
Thank God, that was really well reviewed.
Yeah.
I haven't
But
seen it.
I thought it was mediocre. I thought it was try hard.
Sorry, buddy.
I thought it was
Sorry, Paul
try
Gross.
hard, it says.
Anyway, okay, so great. So
What do you want to talk about, John?
Sometimes people fight and shit, whatever.
Oh, I have a good story.
So
you guys
story
talk about.
time, Jason.
Oh,
And-
Jason's going to do news.
Wait,
We need a little
wait,
news.
wait.
Yeah, I'll get you-
I
I'll get you
have
some beer.
I have a baby glass, so I'm on like glass 17 of beer. But Corey's been filling it up to about the 1/3 mark, and the rest is
True.
head. And I've got this tiny, maybe this fits 3
Keep doing it.
teaspoons.
Just keep doing
So,
it.
our second beer tonight, by the
I
way,
wish that was my life.
Yes.
is MERIT Brewing out of Hamilton.
Yes.
And I can't read the label. What's
James
the
Street?
label? On James Street, which is like their
Is this
downtown.
it? Is this the one?
That's the
Yeah,
one.
This
cool.
is Chanan.
Which
I'll let you make
John
your
and I
own
visited.
board.
It was a week and 2 days into its
Or
inception.
maybe it's Chanan. I don't know if it's supposed to be
Wait,
pronounced with a French. French
Go,
accent.
go back. It's
I don't know.
local?
No,
it's from
Hamilton.
Oh.
We went for a visit.
I
We
was
were
just Tonying
visiting
for a
some
while.
friend's wedding.
They went on a business trip,
Yes.
charged
Yeah.
the whole goddamn thing to this podcast.
Yep.
Now we got to sell fucking how
business
many
account.
T-shirts for this thing that break even?
And John, you'll be getting one of those T-shirts.
Yes.
Beer and bullshit. No, like we need some funding.
Come on, finish the lettering on this thing. We got to pay off Scozer.
No. It was beer and bullshit 2 T-shirts or beer and bullshit 5 T-shirts.
Just beer
And
and bulls.
you know, we have a sense of humor. So
That's right.
So last time we had
Fill in
Mr.
Mr.
Cor
Cor as
on.
well.
We
thank you kindly.
we had Mr. Cor on last time on the lost episode that will never appear.
So wait, is this Jon Cor episode 4? I think so. You
This
can't
one
call
will
it
be.
episode
Yeah.
Don't
3
say
because
anything
there
that
is.
rhymes.
It's okay. Can I share this real quick? So I just finished a movie. I was in Ottawa for 4 weeks. Little TV movie, but it was really cool. I couldn't believe actually how incredible it was on both sides of the camera.
Yeah.
I was opposite an actor from one of my favorite shows of all time, Vikings. In fact, it is that and Jeopardy are like the 2 things that I watch religiously.
Jeopardy
So it was
Yeah,
Alex
I really,
Trebek.
I know pretty much everything about both
I do
those
not remember
shows.
him on Vikings whatsoever.
You know, he's very transformative as an actor. He really gets into his work. His method. He's been
These-
working on his role for the last 35 years.
These Norse warriors originally went into battle during the 1400s.
It's so easy. Now I'm getting all these Jeopardy things.
Who are Vikings?
Sorry.
We got to let him stay on
Yeah,
track
sorry,
with the story.
So really quickly, so I was a bit like a trained dog for whatever reason. I've never experienced this before. We would block a scene, and like then we'd go to rehearsal for camera department, lighting, everybody else. So everybody is now here.
What, by the way, for everyone at home, blocking a
Blocking?
scene doesn't mean that you're actively trying to sabotage it. It means
You
that
can't.
stop doing it. No, it means
This
that you're
doesn't
setting
deserve to
up
see the light of day.
where you stand and shit.
Right, yeah. So we do it organically first of all, and then we figure out if you know what. Okay, if you're there and you're sitting on that makes sense. We can move this. Cool. Okay, no, that works, etc. So we do a camera rehearsal. Point is, we blocked it once, just once, where I sat at this side of the table. We did the whole thing. You know, it'd be really cool, John, if you sat at the other end of the table. Cool, easy, right? No, sit, roll over, etc. So now we're going to our first take. I do it again. I said the same thing. Fuck. Then we do it again. No big deal. Everybody's wonderful. Everything's wonderful. But John, make sure after you do the thing, you sit down at the other end of the table. Cool. Again, I sit down at the side, and we're laughing. I'm sorry. I'm not taking the piss. I'm actually just. I guess you only have to tell me once. We start laughing. So the director started calling them wrong cores. It's kind of like an encore. We got to go again, but it's wrong core. And I thought that was really funny, and it kind of became a thing. It's
Clever.
yeah, it was funny.
Wrong core. I got to remember that. It's going to be a hashtag on this podcast. Wrong core.
All right.
That was relevant somehow.
Now,
What were you saying?
segue.
Yes, segue. All right.
All right. Last time we had Mr. Cor on the lost episode, we
A wrong chord there.
wrong
There,
chord.
yeah.
That was it.
There you go. We had a wrong chord. We spoke about at the time it was the end of the or it was the summer's most or the winter's most can't remember what it was, 3 years,
Could have been
most
anything.
something. It was some type of
It was
calendar
something.
period.
It was something.
Most searched terms on Pornhub.
Oh yes.
Oh, we talked about that.
Yeah,
Yes, we
talked
did.
about it. Yeah. So that is
Not unlike my views on YouTube. All the searches.
But now, weirdly, in last month, it was the 10th anniversary of Pornhub.
Oh.
So what they did, 10. It's crazy.
Based out of
2007.
Montreal. Do you know that? They're a Canadian company.
I didn't know that.
So
Traded on the TSX.
Possibly.
So they
I
have.
don't think they're public. I don't know who's investing in
I
that.
doubt that. So they have
Sell.
a few stats that they came up with. Can you guys guess what was the most uploaded video category? So what has the most category videos on Pornhub? The top 10. I want
Wrong chorus.
Yes, wrong course.
I hate to now kind of talk about myself for a second, but I'm on there.
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah, because I
Nice.
did. There's this orgy
Just from the-
scene in
from
the
the neck
Exorcism of Molly Hartley, and a friend of mine texted me one day, and
You
he's
see
like,
little chorus?
"Guess what?" Sends me a link, and I'm like, "I'm not clicking it. I don't know what it is. I'm not clicking it." And he goes, "No, you have to see this shit." And he takes a screenshot. He's like, "You're on Pornhub," and it's there are a couple of one topless girl in the scene. That's it. That's it. And I guess somebody got off on the softcore aspect and
And
wanted to share it.
There you go.
My name's not even attached to it. It's not unlike. Was it Jennifer Lawrence when her shit was leaked? I don't know if I'm getting this right, but no, people had their opinions and yada yada yada. But ultimately, who's the dude? Nobody talks about that. It's Nicholas Hoult. He's Beast in X-Men, Fury Road, Skins. It goes on and on. Like, he's a big deal. Nobody talks about that. Nobody cares. Yeah. No pro or con opinions there.
How was his performance?
It was interesting. It's interesting societally to see that. Really, are we still okay?
So
We're still going to be one-sided, no matter what. Whether we're protecting or attacking, it's still this one. There is a gender bias.
This is
in
what goes
situations.
on these
It's
X-Men
fascinating.
film sets.
But anyway, I'm done. I'm done derailing. But it was a really funny thing. To be like, what? Maybe I will.
Unfortunately,
click it.
you
I'm like,
weren't-
Oh, it's just that scene.
I'm just wondering
Nothing's-
how your
it's all
friend came
implied.
across this video.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, was he
Isn't that
searching?
really
Just
funny?
wondering.
Yeah.
Is he like Jon Cor Pornhub?
Softcore connoisseur.
Softcore with no E.
That's a fascinating question. I don't know
Softcore. Nice.
what are you into that you end up,
That's pretty
at Pornhub where things are visually available, watching.
Or you wanted some hardcore.
You know what I
and
want?
just
Wild
sound
Things
softcore.
again
You know
with
what?
Denise Richards and Nev Campbell. That's
Okay.
it. Took me a second.
yes.
That's what I want to see. Not
Yeah.
not
She's-
porn.
Nev-
Implied porn.
Yeah.
Nev Campbell is in
House of Cards.
yeah.
House of Cards.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
After like 17 years
I know.
away. I was watching it and I was
Well,
like, "Oh, what the shit?"
When those Party of Five checks run out,
Anyway,
come back. They just got renewed for a reboot on
Yeah.
Netflix. So,
Shadowhunters is over. I'll be at the gas station.
but no, one thing I had seen, I think it was on the news. They were basically talking about how Pornhub has become this place to watch bootleg movies.
right?
What?
Because
Really?
because they won't take them down.
Yeah.
They don't. I guess they don't police.
So
their
people
content
just
as
upload
much.
full movies.
So there's
Yeah.
a whole.
So can I watch
section-
kung fu movies?
I'm sure
Possibly.
you can. You can probably watch like more movies where people were sitting there filming in the theater.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
do one of those.
Good. I don't like that.
You could probably watch those movies in on Pornhub. There's a whole safe for work section.
Oh my god.
And they've actually categorized
So it's
it
becoming
this way.
just a
safe for work.
file-sharing mecca.
SFW.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
So
I want you guys to try and guess maybe a couple of the
fuck.
top categories.
okay.
We're gonna have
Categories.
to
This
see-
won't be misogynistic
So
at all.
it's not going to be most searched term. So it's not going to be stepmoms. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, we did. That's what
Right.
we did. So what's just category? So straight up categories.
Categories.
So I reckon just go like
Oh, these.
go from like
Are we talking
10 up.
activity or are we talking people involved?
No,
know what I mean?
just
you're
category.
talking categories.
So like tag,
Okay.
what it's tagged
So
with,
like
top tags.
I can't.
Right?
No, I'm just gonna rattle off 10. They're all gonna be right, and I'll never.
Yeah.
That'll be a problem. MILF, anal. There's gonna be something familial.
No, teen.
Oh,
100%.
Oh my god.
No, I don't know.
Oh
about
no,
that.
no, 100%.
Really?
Because
I-
everything has it in the title.
No, I think
Whether it is or
number
not, it
one-
could be two.
Yeah, there's a
two
35-year-olds.
I'm gonna
grandmothers,
guess it's
it doesn't
not.
matter, it's
I'm going to
teen.
guess it's really not, but
But we're talking what it's categorized. as.
Categories.
yeah,
Le-
I
lesbian.
think, yeah, that's
Lesbian
gonna be
teen.
up there.
The
That's gonna be up there.
step brother, sister, mom.
Yeah,
so that
familial-
whole thing.
That's weird.
It's
eh?
usually the actors too. You're like
Yeah, I know.
they're not.
They're
that's
not-
Yeah, but is that not fucked up? That like that's.
But are you watching for the story, or are you just watching for the two bosom
Yeah,
chicks?
but the thing
He's
is you
watching
don't
for
get.
the story.
I don't know. I don't know that that's
you don't get a whole lot of the thumbnails, right? You don't get a whole lot from the thumbnails. So like,
I
you're
know it's
looking
hard.
at the title.
It's hard to see two guys running a train on one girl. It's hard to figure that out.
I literally
Thumbnails
pictured
of
a
my
girl
mouth.
with all of her clothes on and two guys with toy trains.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I'm a family man.
Yeah.
Okay,
me too.
yeah.
Me too. I'm in the verge of leaving.
Defender of the faith.
All right.
He's got a daughter. He's
Keeping-
never
keeping
had
clean.
sex.
Never.
No. Divine intervention.
All right.
there.
So
Yeah.
there's a
Right.
couple. Some
Immaculate conception.
actually, Mac exception.
that stork was awesome.
Oh, now he's going to fact you.
I'm
he
sorry.
gave me this the other day,
Yeah,
and I
will
still
fact
don't know
you.
if it's right.
Immaculate conception.
I don't know if this is
As a
right.
Catholic, do you know who was immaculately conceived?
What? What are you? What?
Jesus.
No, he was not.
What are you doing here?
You just said immaculate conception. I know he doesn't know actually what it means.
Okay, then
And he's wrong.
Why? Who?
Mary was immaculately conceived, but or I mean, she was the
She was immaculately
conceiver
conceived
or whatever.
No,
I
she was
always
immaculately
thought-
conceived,
I
and then
was-
she gave birth
Oh,
to Jesus
I
Christ
see
at
what
virgin
you're
birth.
saying.
Oh, but
Okay.
I always thought that it's the child that's conceived.
Nope.
Right,
No.
but she was.
immaculately in
She
that
was.
not sordidly.
Yeah.
She was
Forced
conceived
into another
immaculately
human
when
being
she was taken when
via
she was
penetration.
conceived. Her soul was made immaculate by God to prepare her to give birth to Jesus Christ.
I feel cleansed
through
when I have sex.
Catholic dogma.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. So you're saying
Catholic
that
dogma,
So it's
Catholic
not,
dogma.
So the conception of Jesus Christ is not the immaculate one. The immaculate one was when she
Yes.
was conceived
Yes.
from two human beings.
Yes.
Okay.
He was in a barn.
And
it was
then-
dirty
Hold
as
on.
shit.
Hold on.
And then he was just
Search
sitting
it.
in there. He was
Catholic
sitting
dogma.
in there this whole
It's
time.
Catholic dogma. It's not saying Protestant dogma.
Playing
So you can-
solitaire.
okay, Google. Immaculate conception.
NSFU. W. I mean,
Anyways, I'm going to give you guys the top 10 right now before he finds the answer. So number 10,
nothing.
It's all right.
anal.
That was a bill. Yep. Nailed
Number
it.
9,
He guessed that.
Nailed it.
fetish.
That's non-specific, though. What is
Yeah,
that?
it is.
Well,
8,
That-
big
anal is a
tits.
Big what?
8 is
Big tits.
7.
Big-
Little tits. 6. Medium tits.
Big wait, no, that's a Dr. Seuss thing. Not
Big
not,
fish,
not
blue
big
fish, red fish,
No,
small fish.
I want to say big tits, little tits. That's a lot of tits, but that's not right.
I'm pretty
But
sure
there's something
Dr.
like
Seuss did not write that. I'm just going to guess.
But there's something. There's
Big
something.
tits, little tits, no tits.
That's
What's tits?
But that's it. What am I thinking of?
You're
What is
thinking
that?
green eggs and
I
ham,
have-
probably.
Is it
It
green eggs
sounds
and
like
ham?
that cadence. Could you in a boat with a goat? Blah 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 blah. I haven't read it in a while. It doesn't go blah 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 blah.
But I'm pretty sure it's not big
Big tits, little kid tits. That's a lot of tits. I don't think
Oh,
so.
it's
no.
all paraphrase. You think that's
He
books
had a little
about fish?
Freudian slip there. Big tits, little kids.
Ew.
Oh, this episode is
I feel like
Yeah.
that wasn't a Freudian
John
slip. That was
Belanger.
just
Why don't you
slurring? But yeah.
John doesn't belong gay. I don't know.
So I'm going to go through. All right, so then Babe, masturbation, teens 18 plus.
masturbation.
Ah.
Babe,
Hard.
wait, is Babe masturbation, is that 2 or is that 1?
Separate ones, each separate ones.
Okay.
Babe. Then teen,
You should always put that first.
They
Babe
look at
tits.
Pig in the City. What the
Babe
fuck?
masturbation.
hardcore, blowjob, gay, and number 1 category with
Gay's number 2.
2.2 million videos.
Okay,
Those categories.
First of all, tell us how many gay had. If it was-
1.8.
So sorry.
So
not half.
double that.
So 0.4
Over double
million
that, yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Okay.
And number 1,
Is-
amateur.
Amateur.
That's that's fair.
See, people like the theater of cruelty. They like, like, let's just see what may happen. They want that
That's the
catharsis, whether it
that's
goes
the
well or
shaky
poorly or
camera.
not
It's
always.
not shaky
not always,
camera,
not
it's
always.
just not-
not contrived. It's not scripted. It's
Yeah.
not. Chances are, if she squirts, it wasn't fluid that was inserted prior to that cut.
With the turkey
She's
baster.
probably bleeding. What it's. I'm
right.
joking. This sounds so
That's
misogynist.
some
Oh, my
pretty.
God.
So-
yeah,
and-
this
I'm
is really
kidding,
going to
but the
help us
point-
with this whole
the point
misogyny thing.
I do my best.
There's currently, or in the year 2016, in the
Yeah.
year alone, there was 476,000 hours of video uploaded.
426,000 hours.
476,000 hours.
In the last
But you know
24
what?
hours.
That doesn't seem. Wait, in the last 24 hours?
no, in the last year.
What do you think that is?
That doesn't seem like a lot.
Well, think about it. I've only seen 3-minute videos.
But wait, no. But wait,
Three
but,
1-minute videos.
but what's like the YouTube statistic?
Alone, I can go a little bit longer.
My wife and I, however, we've seen a lot.
The
You're also
YouTube
a 1950s
statistic
news
is
guy. I don't know.
is like 13 billion hours per day, or so. It's like something completely obscene, right? So that doesn't seem that crazy to me.
Yeah, but people are on YouTube more than they're on Pornhub.
Well, I guess.
Which says a lot about our society.
Well, when
In
I
a
jerk
good or a
off,
bad
when I
way?
jerk off to an old episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, I still want to see where I care about. Like, I hope Aunt Viv's okay, and Will's not out too late. And Uncle Phil, I gotta see his tantrum. I think that's the best part of the series is Uncle Phil losing his shit. So whenever it doesn't matter when I lose my shit, I'm in for the whole episode. Man.
So wait, can I just interject for a second?
Yeah,
my
I think
fault,
Immaculate
isn't it?
Conception.
Yeah. So my cursory, very quick reading of this opening paragraph
Faster.
says that Jason is probably somewhat accurate.
Oh, fuck off. He can never give me
That was so
any credit.
When he said
non-humble.
this, and he started with, tells me that Jason, I thought he was going to go into this thing about the Immaculate Conception being about Jason from Friday the 13th.
Oh my goodness.
Jason Voorhees.
It says here, Jason
Voorhees?
and the Argonauts. We're all immaculate.
So the Immaculate Conception refers to Mary. The virgin birth refers to Jesus.
Not so 100% what I said.
Yeah.
Not just he was somewhat right. I
Oh, he's
guess.
right.
No. Yeah, he's just like, oh, you.
Fuck you.
Jason was half right.
Yeah, you didn't dot your
'Cause he
I's and
didn't-
cross your T's. I wrote the sentence.
He didn't talk about
It says what it says.
But,
Ja-
Jason didn't talk about the virgin birth. That's
I did actually.
one.
I did say you guys weren't
But he
listening.
didn't say those
But
words.
he didn't call it the
Not
virgin
together.
birth, so
Of
therefore he's half wrong by default.
I did say
exactly.
virgin birth. Yes, we're not listening.
You know,
Fuck
It's
you guys.
default and it's a
That's-
decal.
So that said, a swing and a miss for Jason Boston.
Left at 0.
Strike one, home run.
What? Okay. So now what's this?
What else are we looking at?
Well, we can do other news, or I keep telling you about these Pornhub stats.
Why are we doing 2 episodes in a row with
What's-
this shit when you're worried
Yeah,
about
we-
misogynistic?
yeah,
I don't
we
give a
could
shit.
probably talk about something else that's in the news.
All right, other stuff in news. Well,
Jay's just like, what am I already Googling? What do I know?
I was already
They
here.
say write about what you know.
well, I'm not sure what would be a good segue.
Let's talk about your marriage,
Oh,
Jay.
please, Jason.
I'm not
Jason's
married
getting
yet.
married.
Yeah, soon.
You're not married yet?
No.
I thought you were married yet.
He
No.
talks
You're not
like-
married yet. I know about all this.
He's
Yes,
one
you
of
do.
these. He's one of these old man horse shits that it's always like, oh, the wife. Yeah, well, we can barely get in the car
I've
anymore.
never said that.
Yeah, no,
I don't think I've said
They're
that
still
once.
dating.
and he's been talking like
She
this.
hasn't said yes yet.
He's been talking like this for years and years and years.
Has
but
he?
they actually are in
He
fact
was in
getting
high school.
married.
Meet the wife.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We came together in this wonderful. We were on vacation in geography class. Major departure.
Jason's soon-to-be wife is a sweetheart, and I'm sure she's listening to this podcast. She's probably the only
We all
one who
kn-
actually supports us.
No, she actually actively doesn't. She says all the time, "There is no way I will listen to more of his bullshit."
Actually, she
More
does.
is
But now
bullshit.
that she works, she listens to when she works.
Oh,
and-
really?
Yeah, so she's going through them all.
way.
Sorry, Paula.
That's adorable, Paula.
Do you ever listen to any of the podcasts?
Not a one.
Me neither.
Care.
I can't.
I've listened to
Yeah,
a few.
it's too much of a mirror.
That's too
Yeah.
shitty.
confusing.
That's
There
the
could be
thing.
It's like
some
I want to
shit
be
in the
loose. I want to
middle.
live. I don't want to micromanage and overthink.
Yeah.
But we all do. Like too.
Yeah.
So as soon as I start to feel, it's the same with Instagram, which I'm still pretty new to. I'll really believe in a post whether it seems like a savvy career move or it's funny or whatever. And as soon as I hit it, if I'm having all of these mixed feelings, if I'm gonna overthink, you're micromanaging me, I just close it. Just get out, and I'll be gone for weeks. So I won't even open it to see what other people are doing.
See, that's what I
don't
tried
like
to do. I tried to do that with our podcast with the mayor. Okay, because
Oh,
I
yeah.
like
Oh.
some people were chopping it up and putting it
Yeah,
on
some people
different
get
sites.
very angry.
Oh, and they got extremely
Wow.
angry.
Oh yeah.
Angry with us.
John and
They
I
thought
were
we
having great
sucking
time.
his
We were
ass.
in Hamilton the whole
I'm
time,
a
just
shit guest, aren't I?
updating
This
each other.
sounds like it has some
No,
heat
no,
behind
no,
it.
no,
That's
no.
that's really cool.
They thought we were like sucking up to him, and we were all in with the mayor. Right?
Yeah, you showed him a great time in your mom's basement.
we had
We pulled out the nines.
we had pleasant conversation with him. But the thing was, is like after all the negative comments, I was like, you know what? I'm leaving this alone. So I shut it off, put my phone away. I was at the cottage, and then next thing you know, fucking
It's the mayor?
Jay sending me texts with screenshots. Have you seen what so and so fucking wrote? Fuck off, man. Leave me alone.
John and I were laughing. We were driving, and John would be like, oh, I found another one. And then he would start driving, and I would do the same thing. Oh, listen to this one.
And what was it?
These
it
people
was
on a
just-
Facebook group called The Real Timmons. See, we're giving you
The
guys another
Real
plug.
Timmons.
They give a shit. Eh? They're like, hey, we're giving your podcast exposure. While they pulled our stuff off, chopped it up, and re-uploaded our video
Their
as
9-second
their
clips.
own.
Yeah,
You can
well,
link to it.
circumcise me. We'll
Yeah, yeah.
circumcise you. Let's go.
You're giving our podcast exposure. Okay, thank you. Anyways, we're
Overexposure.
gonna give you your page, The Real Timmons, another plug. Everybody, please go check this place out.
You should.
Yeah,
It's all
please
kinds
do.
of fun.
Please do. It's all
It's
kinds
actually
of fun.
cool because I'm just kidding around.
There's a lot of complaints about them there.
It's
It's kind of where all the people have migrated to.
to
complain about the mayor.
Yeah, it's a place for people to vent their frustrations, it seems, and some of it is legitimate, but
whole lot.
it spirals downward pretty.
Well, it's like
As
what
those
we were-
things do.
Yeah.
But it's like what we were talking about earlier. There's a legitimate point of view
Yeah.
in this stuff, and I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But I when somebody just I don't know they've kind of taken to calling this festival the Stars and Blunders Festival. Which I was like,
smoke and
the
mirrors.
Smoke and Mirrors.
Oh, that's clever,
Festival. I was like, very, very clever. But you don't really have an argument here if you
Yeah.
go like, was it Mayor Steve Black, idiot, with his Stars and Blunders Festival? Like, if that's
Are they
the extent of the
angry
content.
like chain smoking New York Jewish mother?
Fucking Mayor Black.
See, I don't have.
What
the
is he
array of
doing
voices.
here?
You know what?
Bringing in his friends.
We're gonna do a podcast where Jon Cor just reads comments on Facebook in that voice.
that would be a good
different
special.
voice.
Dear Jason. What? Jake. Dear Jason. You French fuck.
What were we talking about? How did,
know,
how
I'm
did this
French
come
too.
to
It's
us?
like-
He was trying to start something. I don't know.
Start something with the news.
That's why we sit opposite.
Yeah,
So
Mayor
we can
Black.
Start
Pretty much.
something.
Well, hey, we can talk about more local news or national news, but Sears Canada is closing across Canada.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Sears Canada.
Is closing across Canada?
Well, they're declaring bankruptcy.
Time for some sick deals.
Sears Canada only or Sears Airwear?
Sears Canada.
Sears Canada.
It's its own entity, sort of. Yeah.
Wow, subsidiary
Sister
of
office.
Sears.
Yeah.
But whoopee shit.
Yeah.
Her name's-
Same old story with retail. They don't know what they're doing, and Amazon's figured it out, and a couple others. Walmart's figured it out.
Yeah, but
only
why not
because
imitate? Why
it's
not-
at the expense of their own workers.
But why not fucking imitate? I don't understand that. It's like, well,
Well,
Sears.
the
same
brand
with
might have depreciated in terms of its image, quite sincerely. Again, when I was on this last movie, there was at first the wardrobe was going to be hilarious. It's going to be this like total arc of like I don't know who he thinks he is or wants to be because we had to do some quick changes. And I don't mean in scene. What I mean is we like had to send someone out today to fix this before we establish another look like that in the next scene. And my thing was, with all due respect, supposed to look, the I think the reference word was something like crisp. And I had these.
sounds
these-
like a
I had-
Hollywood
I had-
word.
It came from a producer, and I my reference photos for my vision actually of all people were Zac Efron, but there was a certain look, with a crispy, bearded look. Anyway,
Crispy bacon.
and I was like, this is very dadly. This is Sears one size fits all. That's how I thought of it. Not unlike people going, oh, Lifetime, the Housewife Network.
Yeah.
There's like a stigma attached to certain things, and I think Sears over time has probably developed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get that. I get they developed that, but like they had a distribution channel, they had fucking real estate everywhere. It's kind of like how a Blockbuster saw competitors like Netflix show up, and yet they did nothing.
Failed to act.
Yeah.
Failed to act and did nothing.
Blockbuster,
Whereas-
did you know that they were
Yeah.
offered the opportunity to buy Netflix, and they said no thanks.
That's not our
Block
thing.
here.
So like
This
Sears.
is obviously not the future. This whole internet thing's gonna
Yeah.
die out
This
soon.
is stupid.
Oh, that fad.
Isn't an internet that thing in your shorts that keeps your balls close to your body?
Yes, another Simpsons reference.
Is that from The Simpsons?
I really just thought it was called the.
Have you heard about this internet? And it is like Carl Carlson there pulls out. He's like, yeah, the interneting inside of your bathing suit.
Oh wow! I must have. I somebody else must have referenced The Simpsons, and I just thought you're funny. I'll appropriate that.
Through osmosis.
Yes.
But
Metaculture.
it's Sears could have easily fucking bought whatever or done
Yeah.
earlier on, and they did shit. They invented catalog fucking order. They invented ordering from home.
Yeah.
Like that's who fucking
which
started
is like
it.
proto internet. But
Yeah.
but they I mean Sears, as long as I think we've been around, has always kind of been janky shit.
Sears
they were
janky.
for the longest time. No, Sears
No,
was
but really,
they were
I know,
quality.
I know they
It's
were. But I'm
strong as
talking,
Sears.
like,
You
in
buy
our-
this strong as Sears.
Yeah. But I'm talking in our lifetimes.
Built for.
I don't know. I think Start
Yeah.
was always considered a bit higher end compared to a Walmart or the Woco or
Well,
whatever.
Walmart didn't
Was
exist,
considered or the Kmart and whatever and Zellers. It
Well,
was
no,
it
of
was
course, 'cause
considered
those were
being
bi- yeah.
it was considered being the high end.
But it wasn't like I don't know. I've always
Might have been the
associated
Bay.
with it wasn't the Bay, it wasn't Eaton's, it wasn't whatever. But I always kind of associated Sears with like half-assed women's clothing and light bulbs in the corner or some shit. You know,
That's
like,
Buck-
I'm
Buck-
pretty
that's
sure
Buck-
you'd have a hard
Buckavetsky's.
time.
Yeah.
There's a blast
I-
from the
I was-
past.
Yeah.
I would
that a
argue it was a
franchise?
bit higher end.
Oh no, that was just
Ooh,
here.
that was local. Sorry.
I would argue that was it was a bit higher end than what you're
I
thinking.
think it was.
I would
well,
argue that.
I didn't perceive it that way. Or maybe it was just this one that wasn't.
We were
This one-
too.
This one was a shed.
Probably.
But it's true what you say about this idea of ordering from home,
Yeah.
right? They pioneered that idea that you get the Sears wish book,
Yeah.
and like
yeah, the
circle
wish
that
book.
shit.
Holy
Christmas
shit! Yeah,
or whatever you
I
want.
I want 7 pages of Lego, 8 pages of high definite.
But it
Does
was
not
all
invented yet,
there.
but do it.
But it was all there, and I know what you're saying, that it seemed like the natural next step, and now they are bottom of the barrel,
Done.
Yeah.
and finished.
But I
So-
really do believe that if places like this probably won't be able to hang in there, but I think we'll see a resurgence. History is always in flux as far as I'm concerned. Like during wartime, we had these glossy Hollywood films, right? It was a bit of an escape. Whereas then there's a big, more or less, a North American experience of peace and prosperity, at least in our backyards. And so we want gritty, we want real, we want the news, we want that journalistic integrity, if you will, in our films. And then it overturns. It's always
Back
in
to
flux, always in
satire and
flux.
goofiness.
And so Blockbuster, video rental places, I think, will mark my words on this podcast, will inevitably be, eventually be, interactive menus. You're going to get to walk into Netflix. You're going to get to physically, tangibly play with the menu, with your selections, and it'll
Yeah.
be a vintage experience.
your
It'll be like,
house.
this is what my mom and dad used to do
no,
when they
the
rented
holo
them, blah, blah.
display will
The
come
same,
out.
No, but the same way drive-ins. Drive-ins. Is that what I mean? Drive-in feature. Yeah. In some places, these are hits. These are still things people do to have this vintage James Dean experience.
Do you know what's ahead of the curve for that? What we do on this podcast, craft brewing. The amount of effort and the niche market and it's really exploded. So
Very much so,
that's
yeah.
that's the prototype for that, right? Like people are always looking, and you're right about this whole cyclical thing. Like eventually
I
it
really
becomes
think we'll
a
see a
pissing
resurgence
ass.
of like we
cyclical
have 12
technology.
VHSs. Guess what? We have 24
Yeah,
VHSs.
yeah,
and you're like,
exactly.
Oh damn!
Well,
you got
look-
the original Super Nintendo
I've got
Mario
two-
Kart cartridge. You know,
I've got 2 cassette tapes sitting
Bam.
up there that were produced in the past 3 years.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
So
yeah.
there's
But wait.
things that
retro
things that are mainstream at the time.
Yeah, but
not cool.
we are
not
not gonna
individual.
see
Not
pagers
obscure.
come back.
later
Usually
on.
This is the first time somebody's raised their
I'm-
hand.
I'm-
on this
I'm waiting
Don't
for a
fucking
moment.
pick them. Don't give.
Not
Okay.
until you do this.
It's the teacher like I'm not out.
Yeah, and lean on the table. Yeah. Okay, no. Okay, can I just say, you see this with vinyl, you see it with tapes, now you see it with retro game collecting and shit like that. All of them are very nostalgic, very interesting,
Yeah.
especially for someone who didn't grow up with it. It's
Yeah.
a novelty. It's like,
course.
what is this alien technology
Yeah.
with these weird hissing and cracks and needles and magnets and shit? But which is cool, which is great. But ultimately, it is still a novelty. I mean, in terms of from a technical perspective,
Or an industry.
Stop. From an industry perspective, from a marketability perspective, from a convenience perspective, digital
Yeah.
is better.
Yeah.
It
Period.
sells a hell lot more.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. It doesn't fail the same. Wait. It doesn't fail in the same way.
with his hand.
I'm listening.
It doesn't have the same physical restrictions. You can buy. Stop it.
I'm waiting for my turn.
Oh my god. You can buy a digital album while you're in the rainforest in Indonesia.
I can't. There's no.
No
I went to
signal.
Sudbury and back, and there was a dead zone. I swear to God, no Wi-Fi, no music, no fun.
Well, there's no Wi-Fi for sure.
I couldn't get FM or AM, and my dad's like, "Oh yeah, it's just this one little stretch. Just turn the corner."
There is a stretch on the 144 where you can't even get CBC radio.
Nothing. There's
Yeah.
nothing.
It's
I had no
radio
cell
silence,
reception either.
unless you've got a podcast downloaded or you've got some music on your phone. You are fucked.
Don't
my
s-
friend.
So good
Don't
thing you've
stop
got
to
those
pee
digital
here.
copies. Put your record in the fucking thing. Shannon, get into the glove box.
I'm looking for the next Subaru Forester with an 8-track tape.
Yeah. If you're not seeing the visual, Jon Belanger just basically, when he said record, he kind of inserted a pizza box. Was the gesture that was amazing.
But John is correct where these are just a novelty. You will not create a whole industry on this where you might think that there might be a couple movie shops or, like video stores that will pop
Which
up.
will probably be true,
Well,
especially
but
in
it's
bigger
not,
centers.
not going to be
It won't
to,
be a
it won't be
monopoly.
scaled.
No,
Yeah, it won't be
no,
scaled to the
no,
same.
no.
And that's
same
not what
with
I'm saying
you know,
whatsoever.
same with just regular retail. It's not going to
Right.
It's not going to happen.
And that's not what I'm saying.
You'll have
whatsoever,
small
but
little things.
Take, for example, lo-fi recording,
No,
right?
shit.
Used to be. That's funny. Not. No, lo-fi recording used to. It was something that we did because we had to. Long story short.
Yeah.
Now we actually have to go out of our way digitally to manufacture
Yeah.
that kind of sound. And is that a novelty? Is it always a callback, or is it in fact a really cool fucking sound?
But
Yeah.
it's
I
an
like to
aesthetic
record
in
my
that
own
case.
vocals with a lo-fi filter.
Yeah.
And it's no different. Like, are you going to say that there's no photography on Instagram because there are various filters?
Well, there are certain aspects of that. Like I can speak a little bit to that, the whole lo-fi thing. I feel like there are certain aspects about it that people find nostalgic. Like they like
I just like
hearing
the snarly sound.
Yeah, they like hearing that kind of rawness to it.
A
But there
background
are
in the foreground.
There are certain things that if you go back and listen to a record from the 70s, 60s,
Yeah.
and you listen to a modern record that's trying to emulate that sound, there are certain things that aren't going to be
No,
reproduced.
of course not.
And most of it lies in the drum sound. A lot of it is you couldn't get those punchy drum tones like you get now because things were they were recorded differently, right? And they
Everything was
weren't-
different. Every
Yeah.
piece of
Everything was.
equipment in the
Every
process was a
single piece
different
of
thing.
equipment
The
was
nuts and
different.
bolts on the drum kit, even, yeah,
But
for the most part.
But even the desirability of the sound and what was playing it back, right?
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
we couldn't reproduce the sub bass.
Yeah, there was no such
We
thing as
couldn't
hi-fi.
Exactly.
You had
exactly.
your actual frequency range was cut off. At
So
the
now
knees.
you're listening to lo-fi music. I don't mean to say this is lo-fi music. No, like
Trash
emulated
and
lo-fi
noise.
music
Right.
through hi-fi equipment, and you're the people who are producing this stuff. It's not like they're fucking up or anything. They are maximizing the effect through the new kind of medium, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting when you see somebody who uses that kind of production.
There's just, the White Stripes are my favorite band of all time. They were my Nirvana. But there's this band called Rough Magic that I really, really, really enjoy. RUFFMAJICK.
Jesus Christ,
Right,
this
Rough Magic.
fucking
just for
band.
fun. Just for fun.
2017, I was listening to their newest record today.
Least found
and
band
it blew
in
me
Google.
away. However, very distorted. Like it's snarly. It's high pitched. It sounds far away, but it's in the foreground. I really love that aesthetic, whether it's simulated or a new muscle car, an old muscle car. I like muscle cars. I love that sound.
It's like me with amateur
So
porn.
I'm not sure that. Yes, yeah, totally.
This all circles back to this
Yeah.
amateurish sound.
If you don't have the flashing play
But you
text
can
at
do
the
it
bottom
really
of the screen,
professionally.
it just doesn't work for me.
Well, anyways,
In your
gentlemen,
hand, it's a candle. In my hand, it's a fucking torch.
we are coming up on 2 hours of podcasting.
2 hours
It's
of
wild. Yeah.
solid
It's been pretty good.
bronze.
I feel like our words of wisdom tonight. I know Jay's going to look some up right now, but I feel like they should be like cheers for Sears. But
That's a word of
it doesn't
wisdom.
have to be. No,
Isn't
it's
that
not
a
words
corporate?
for wisdom.
Isn't that a slogan? A motto?
It's what they all said at their like morning huddle.
well, it's,
Cheers,
Cheers
for
to
Sears.
Sears.
It's Sears for fears now.
That's why the franchise
Spirit
failed,
circle.
because all the employees were just piss drunk all the time. It's not because they failed to keep up with the times.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty much. Makes sense.
Kept up with the
Chronic
times.
alcoholism.
Just let them roll.
Mr. Jon Cor, where can people find you online?
Oh my God! I don't know. IMDb, my
Mostly
website,
on
Instagram,
Pornhub,
at Jon Cor, JON_COR. That's my Twitter. That's my Instagram. I more or less I do the Insta thing now, and sort of click a few buttons, and it does everything else. It goes to all the other places, but I don't go. So if you want to communicate,
Isn't there an actual?
Instagram's the
Hey,
best way.
speaking of which, isn't there an Instagram filter actually called lo-fi?
maybe.
I think there is.
Yeah,
I
that
think
could
there
be.
is.
There should be one
something,
called
yeah.
Ron Cor.
Yeah. So it takes your picture and just inverts it. Yeah, look at my baby tying its shoe. Oh, it's fucking up with that filter.
Messed it up.
It's just throwing up on its shoe now.
Mr. Local Transient, any special projects you'd like to talk about before... he says no.
What are you even asking me?
Can
What do you mean
people send
special
you
project?
an AOL
Address
friend
all of your
request?
hate mail too.
I believe my ICQ number is 158 132
All right, Jason, would you like to... Do you have any special announcements before we sign off?
Do I have special? I actually have nothing.
He's
nothing
still
going on.
he's still
Come
getting
on.
married.
See,
soon.
this is how
it's
busy
still
we've
on
been
track.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why they've been postponing and canceling podcasts. Listen to this wealth of activity.
We're so busy. So busy. You know what? I've also got nothing to add to this.
So why even do
That's
this
a-
sequence?
Just
Just
a good
ask
time,
him.
boys. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
John,
It was a really
it's
good time.
No, I appreciate you coming
fun
on
tonight.
again. And anytime you're in town, just
Thank you.
let
No,
us know.
I
We'd
love it
love
very
to
much. Have a good time.
record a
I'm
podcast.
sorry we kind of talk over each other a lot. I don't know.
Ah,
I don't know how the
Jesus
viewers
Christ.
respond to that.
Fuck
but
them.
Fuck 'em.
but given that amateur is
Yeah.
the most searched yada yada,
Then surely it applies here as well.
yeah, let's keep it raw.
Yeah. Wow, they really did poorly on that. I like it,
baby,
though.
I like it
I
raw.
want to look for more of that.
Oh baby,
I can barely understand them talking over each other. I don't know why I'm doing this
Is that
voice
me again?
Well,
I don't know why. I do it while I'm here.
I love that voice.
Corey McGee.
I'm going to be trying to emulate that for the rest of the week. Anyways, thanks a lot, everybody, for joining in and checking us out on everything that you can find us on the Webernet.
And they promise they'll have women on next time. Isn't that right?
100%, 100%.
Gonna
no
balance
women
it out.
want to
Black
come on
women,
the podcast.
Latino
Yeah.
women,
So
young
how about
women,
this?
old women.
How about this? If you're a woman in town and you have an interesting story to
And you
tell,
wanna be
just
on the
like me,
podcast.
I'm
Yeah.
super important, have lots of interesting shit to say, obviously. So if you're in a similar boat, why don't you contact them and then they can ignore your message if they don't agree.
A dinghy with
exactly
a
what
hole
we
in
do.
it.
That's exactly what we do. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys. And Jason,
Love you
will
long
you
time.
sign us off with some words of wisdom? Or are you going to say cheers to Sears?
Cheers to Sears.
Tears for
my
Sears.
God.
Cheers.
Tears for fears.
Tears for Sears.
Sears for fears. Fears for tear. Whatever.
All right.
And beers for Sears.
Thank you
Three
so much,
cheers.
everybody, for checking us out. We'll see you guys next time
Hey.
when we see you. Cheers.
Sun